Hello, testing audio. Hello. We're gonna get into this game real soon, folks. You can see the teams already in my stream title, but we're already in the reload lobby. Hello there, Kitty. I'm glad you're joining us today. No matter for how long, always excited to have people in the chat here. As you can see, no delay in the stream today, so I can interact with the chat in real time, at least when I have time to watch it, because this is gonna be a busy game for me. You're coming from the Discord, nice. I'm glad that people actually use that notification role. So I'm happy to have you around, of course. The game is already starting here. We've reloaded, so we're primed and ready to get into this show match here. Some stacked teams, as you can see in the title. This is pretty much MPT as you know it. It's yeah, it's the only difference is the tags are a little bit cheaper because I made the game a little bit shorter, so it's easier to do in a stream like this. And therefore it's only 72 turns. I made the map myself, so it's not a random map. And there's 3 new civilizations which are all being played in this game. So that'll be exciting. You're gonna be able to see 3 new MPT civilizations in this game. I made a video for these civilizations as well that I can link to you if I find it real quick. Shit, where's the video again? Ah, it's here, isn't it? Yep, I have it here. I can link that video real quick. Here, there we go. People could be able to get it into the Middle Ages, but I hope they don't. This is supposed to feel... Oh, so I didn't read chat. What were they saying in chat? Oh, sorry, I didn't quite catch that because I was busy with the stream and all. Oh, what was being said there? Oh, no, shit, I didn't catch it. That's sad. We just got into it. Ah, alright, that's sad. I'll... I'll have to see what was the issue there. Okay, so we're reloading this. Looks like it's just a normal drop. So apparently I didn't miss whatever was going on there. Yeah, so we'll reload that and we'll see if we can get it to run properly. Guess we gotta reload it. We'll see if there's persisting issues. That, of course, will have to be addressed then. Alright, looks like we're all here. So we'll try the reload once again. There we go. Loading the file. SDN dropped, apparently. Okay, so it just looks like a regular drop. We'll see if this keeps occurring or something. So yeah, we are already in the lobby again, so there we go. We are launching for the second time here. Hope this time goes well. See right here. There we go. Now let's hope this reload is better than the first one. As people start ending turns, looks like nobody's lagging just yet. It's incredibly hot here, so forgive me if I keep wiping my face or my hands or anything. Okay. Looks like the game is underway since everybody finished turn 1, so we're hoping for a relatively trouble-less testing show match. Okay, what do we have here? A little bit of an explainer. First, the teams. We have 237 versus 456, as you can see in my name. That means, of course, oh no, please don't drop again. That means SDN, Rever, and Rever versus Avalanche, Obi, and Mac. I hope. Oh god, what is this? Looks like we might have some persistent technical issues here. That's typically not the case in my matches. Even on this patch, the games that we've played were relatively problem-free. So I'm surprised that this one is acting up to the level that it does. We can only hope that it normalizes over time. But it will have to be seen. At least we're getting some turns done here. So as long as the game goes somewhat smoothly, let's just keep it rolling and see how it goes, basically. Yeah, so for the teams, SDN, Rever, and Rever versus Avalanche, Obi, and Mac. So we're in this sort of a triangle shape setup, right? We have this guy, and this guy. So this triangle here versus this, and this. So yeah, it's a zigzag type setup. I hope everybody fixed their mutes, because that would be quite awkward otherwise, since we are in the second reload already. Oh, does this map somewhat look like a... Just telling these guys a thing or two that they might not know about the mod, because we're just testing here, right? So I can just give them some info if they need it. Yeah, I didn't know that there was a map akin to this one in the prepackaged version, but that's fun. I guess I'll try that map out, because I think that's a pretty funny shape. We have this volcanic island chain here, of course, for boating place, just like it used to be the case at the tournament. And then we have the big mainland island. Now for this map, I gave people sort of like their own little peninsulas here, simply for the reason that they have no neighbors, no friendly neighbors. Both neighbors that everybody has is an opponent, and the two teammates are the two furthest away players on the map for everybody here. So that means, well, not for everybody, but for most. And that means it's gonna be tricky to get con with people and to be safe early. Therefore, they got somewhat a little bit of a natural terrain protection here, especially the players in the middle. They are kind of like especially vulnerable. So we'll see how these guys deal with that. For the civs, yeah, I hope people have watched the video explaining the new civs. If you haven't, that's no problem. They are not very difficult to understand. Just as a quick little rundown, maybe the Indians get a lot of gold because they can build banks which produce gold. And they also have special horsemen, being their war elephant, which is just a regular horseman, also requires horses, and is a horseman with an additional hit point. Then we have the Vikings, which are a naval civilization. They can build longships, which are just cheaper versions of galleys. They have no other bonuses, just like cheaper galleys. And they get the Berserk instead of the Swordsman, which is very, very strong on offense, but only has one defense point, but can also attack from boats. So you can make great naval plays if you are the Viking. And then last but not least, we have the Japanese, which are also an interesting civ. They have a 2-1-1 samurai unique unit, a rather cheap unit for 2 attack. And they also get special workers. You can't see it just yet because they start with a normal worker like everybody else. But they, after that first worker, they build special workers which have 2 movement points, and therefore they can make some interesting plays with the 2 move workers that they have, and also they just work a little bit quicker since they can move onto a flat tile and start improving it in the same turn. That's basically the rundown of 3 new civs. If that was a little bit confusing for you, don't feel bad. You can watch the video that I have on my channel explaining the 3 new civs very quickly. You shouldn't miss too much action in this game if you go watch that video. That'll be all good. Or you can just watch the game and you won't be too deterred by these new civs because it will be fairly obvious what they are going to do. Now the 3 old civs here are unchanged. I didn't change any of the old MPT civs. The only difference is, of course, the 3 new ones. People are starting to make contact with each other here already. You can see the Celts and the Iroquois had contact down here. And then apparently, yeah, up here in the north, the Indians, McClunky and Archiever, for the Vikings over there, they also met each other. And Archiever probably Oh shit, McClunky just popped horseback riding. That's terrible news, of course. You definitely don't want to have that happen if you're a horseman upgrading Civ. That's of course very unfortunate for OB's team here. Now the good news is that even if you can't get a big stack of War Elephant upgrades here as India, you can still farm a lot of gold to provide your team with good upgrading opportunities. So it won't necessarily be that bad right off the bat, right? You still have value that you can provide for your team. Interesting, look at this down here. We have Rever as the Iroquois getting some early veteran warriors here, opting for an early barracks. And speaking of which, I'm trying to get my 2 remaining spies out that I failed in the initial turn 1. Looks like I'm having good luck so far. Alright, India still won't let the guy in, but that's fine. In general, I just want to point out what stacked of an MPT lobby this is. This is going to be high-level gameplay, presumably, and we'll see how these guys deal with that tough competition that they're going to be facing. Like Avalanche's rather safe positioning that he's got so far, he hasn't started improving those planes yet. This wine is a free, well, it's just like a bonus grassland, right? It's pretty much just a bonus grassland with an additional gold maybe once roaded on that river. But yeah, he's instead irrigating early on here. Celts are D7 is what they're saying. Rever, of course, having spotted Ava on over here, can give that intel over. And same thing for Mac to his team, spotting out the Viking capital of Trondheim. He's gonna be, yeah, putting some pressure there early, potentially. Now, you gotta keep in mind, the Vikings are incredibly strong at making naval plays. They have amphibious assault with a unit that barely ever loses combat on offense, unless, of course, it's into defensive bombard. So, if Archiever manages to find anybody who has some weak coastal cities, that's almost certainly a kill for him, but only if he gets a good Berserk upgrade from the Iron, and if he of course is able to get a boat through to a naval city of the enemy, which they'll have to try and prevent if at all possible. Down here for Rever, it seems like he's a little bit low on defensive units here early on, but it's fine because he's got nice terrain advantage here, and he's of course building veterans already. That makes it difficult for the enemy to punch through that. On the western side here we see already Obi going for a second city, getting that one out pretty early on, and it looks like over here he made a double move onto Rever, pressuring Salamanca, and he now even, wow, the Iroquois go for this hit. That turned out terrible for Rever. He just went for the hit, veteran into regular on the forest, doesn't pay off for him, and he even gets the promotion Obi does. Of course, being militaristic, the Japanese are pretty likely to get those promotions, so it's not a great surprise here. Oh, hello, Lib. I'm sorry I didn't catch you joining here, Mr. Subgifter. I excuse this language here. Oh, God. Wow, that's some bold language that you're well, applying here towards your girlfriend. I watch my tongue, but of course I'm not the language police here. God, please don't ban me, Twitch. That would be awkward. In any case, this is going to be very interesting. I'm glad that we got 3 new civs in this test run. Again, India up north, Vikings northeast, and in the south. Oh no, not in the south. In the southwest, we have the Japanese here. All 3 new civs going to be ran in this test run. And it seems like Rever is the one stuck doing map making since SDN elected to go for wheel. So he'll need some financial support from his team. He's already got con with Egypt over here. I'm not sure he's met the Vikings yet, so not possible to draw financial support from there. Size 1 in a great deal of cities here. We have Obi, SDN, McClunky, as well as Archie. They're going for their second city rather early, which is not the case. Oh, never mind that. Wow, wow, what? This is huge. He's size 3 Avice and he's already got his set loud? How did that work? Good lord. Agriculture is just OP, isn't it? Well, that's just incredible for him, right? He's gonna get that city off and he's still relatively safe at home here. Won't feel too bad about this. STN hasn't moved his settler out yet, curiously. Oh, maybe because he doesn't have one. He just went for a second worker. Maybe he doesn't have the extra settler yet. So we'll see. Oh my lord, over here goes Rever for the hit. He might go for the hit onto Entremont, honestly. That's a little bit dicey here for Eva. I'm not sure if Rever got the hit on the warrior off in time, but he got a great end of turn kill on that warrior, guarding the pass through to Entremont. And he gets a very important tile here off of Eva. The bonus grassland not going to be able to be worked for the Celts. Now he still has enough tiles to make this somewhat worthwhile. But this is going to be difficult to clear out this veteran warrior, especially with all the mountains around that Rever is presumably going to be able to go on to. So, yeah, bit scary early on here for Eva. Now, I don't think the opponents know that he's gone for that second city yet, although, no, it doesn't show up in F11. That is a pretty interesting one. I don't think they can tell. Now, he gets another warrior out of Entremont, I think, so he should be fine here. Rever can't kill him this turn. It doesn't look like. That would have been very unlucky. Anyways, size 5 is Salamanca. I'm surprised that there's no second, no second city yet for Rever. He's agricultural. He's on the river. He's got a lot of food, as you can see. And he doesn't have any units on him just now. Now, he just got done clearing out Obi's warrior, presumably, so maybe he felt a bit too much pressure to go for that second city any earlier, but he's definitely a little bit behind in growth. Now, same thing for SDN. That second worker, just like Swade mentioned in his latest video, a second worker too early on can set you behind pretty meaningfully. He's only size 2, and he doesn't have that settler out yet. That one settler that shows up here is, of course, the one down here on the volcanic islands that's preventing players to pop. So, a bit concerning, I would say. For him to be able to, to grow adequately early on. He's going to need those horses, and I assume he's already found them because it looks like he might be colonizing them. That would be a weird play. That's a little bit of a wasted worker, I would even claim, if he ended up going for that colony. I assume he's rather going to road it and then plant a city somewhere in this area, maybe. That sounds more reasonable. Now, ironworking pop is rather good for him, but look at this. No, the Berserker is a swordsman replacement. It comes as ironworking. It is very early on, but I'm glad to see I can put my emotes to good use here, because Rever is struggling in the early morning to keep track of all his happiness, it seems. Egypt is warrior spamming. That is accurate. McClunky suffering as a result of that. And oh my lord, they're even going for the hit onto Bombay, it seems, although that didn't pay off. Instead, SDN now claims that hill on the city. Now, the good news for India is they have their horses hooked already, so they can go into GA when they need. The bad news is, of course, him having popped horseback riding. Remember, so he can't go for a big war elephant upgrade that could otherwise be pretty strong. Yeah, no, don't worry, Kitty. The Berserk comes at ironworking already. It's not a invention still. It's just a replacement for the Swordsmith. So it's a very powerful unit. And you can get it very early on. Now the downside is you only have one defense on that unit, so it's not as effective at guarding your cities as as the the swordsman is, and it's also getting cut through like paper on offense if the opponent is able to attack into your stack and you don't have enough archers to guard it. The upside of the 5 attack is, of course, that you can kill pretty much any unit that doesn't have defensive bombard underneath from your boating. India declares war on Egypt, so that means the max starting to clear out SDN over here, especially the conscript warrior, was easy pickings here for him. India gets a little bit of space for themselves. I like the position that Mac is in, and Ava is also looking really strong in size 5 again in Angemont. He's lacking a little bit in tile improvements here right now. He can't really use all the pop that he's got in his capital, but still, you'll take that anytime. And Obi is also relatively unpressured still, so I like the spot that their team is in right now. India holding up fine. Of course, the horseback riding incident is unfortunate, but they still provide value. Over here is Rever getting spicy on Obi. He snuck a warrior in there. He's also got map making apparently, so that's rather early for them. 3000 BC, I have no clue if that's actually a comparatively quick time, but keep in mind this is a shorter game than regular MPT. It's 72 instead of 90 turns, so they can oh, excuse me, lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so the tags are cheaper as well. Therefore, you're gonna get map making earlier than in normal MPT. It's terribly hot here, excuse me. My voice is also starting to fade a little bit. But that's all good. We're mainly here for the gameplay anyways, aren't we? India got that nice looking warrior wall up there. No combat going on in the southern parts as well. And Ava, instead of some workers, is going for a third city really early on here. I like the early expansion here for him. He's gonna have to get to his iron eventually as well. But I'm surprised that he's not prioritizing worker at all. If I thought he would play like Ironclad because he's like Ironclad's idol, and that means warrior spammed since turn 1. But apparently that's not his MO at all this game. SDN going for an interesting plan. That's more of a score plan and more, well, yeah, you get the hill, but really tough to reinforce that city. So not even, I wouldn't even say that that's a good defensive plan. But of course, the Vikings aren't on your opposing team, so you can go for plans like this without immediately getting punished, I assume. And not the same can be said for Ava. He's got for, excuse me, he's gone for 2 very early coastal cities there. And that means that he's incredibly boatable for archery. And there's plenty of opportunities, right? He can sail just down the coast here and get to him, but he can also wrap around in the backside, which Ava might not necessarily be able to spot out. Now he has vision of this island over here, so he's got to know that there are some opportunities to boat him. It is essential though that he doesn't get hit there before he's ready. Currently those cities are still empty. Of course, archery is still a long time away from getting those first berserk longboats out. But still, Celts gotta watch out for that, because that's a very real threat if you plant coastals en masse like that. And there we go. Look at this beautiful unit here in Bergen. New longship constructed. I love to see it. No berserks yet, of course, but these are just beautiful units, and if nothing else, they provide good utility in terms of naval reconnaissance. Obi still having that one Iroquois warrior on him hinders his expansion a little bit, although he should be happy with the cities that he's got for now. He can also elect to take a golden age at any time. This is something that during my testing I have found during my testing, I found that it's dangerous to leave your warriors on the Japanese like that, because that means that they can pick and choose their golden age whenever they want it. They can just make a samurai eventually. Well, that is ugly. What has Ava done to this city? Oh God, that is brutal to look at. Size 1 disordering in MPT. Good God. All right. So what I was saying is I don't really like that because see, look at this. We have a veteran samurai over here for Obi, and that means he can take that GA whenever he wants because he's very likely to win combat with one samurai against one warrior. He's gonna make a third city, I assume, and then he's gonna get a huge golden age. SDN on the other side, he's got those horses hooked. He's got a veteran war chariot out already. I think he snuck around the sentry of Obi. So we'll see if he can build up a nice little stack there. Here goes the settler for Obi. Oh, he reinforces just in time. And now, oh lord, he loses the settler even. That's terrible news for him. That's super weird though. That was some buggy interaction because he got hit with his samurai. That's super weird what happened there. Because he got hit with the samurai, but also, oh god, yeah. I'm not sure that looked like a bug to me, but whatever. We'll let it slide. Not like we let Settler slide, although Obi's gotta let that Settler slide. In any case, he gets those two workers. That's not the end of the day for him. He'd like to have the 3-city GA, I'm pretty sure, but he did a decent job at guarding that Settler. It just didn't work out very well for him. Out comes the longship for Archiever there. Looks like the Indians are pressuring him at least a little bit still, but he's getting some early vision with that longship that he's got. 2 workers on the iron. I'm surprised. He's probably just gonna make another sit to plant it here and start roading that iron for an early swordsman upgrade, is what it looks like right now. SDN with the war chariot out. Maybe he's also fishing for a golden age of his own. Doesn't send it straight over to India though, which surprises me a bit. And he also can't pass that jungle terrain here very well. So we'll see where he ends up going with his first war chariot. Archie were probably just scouting the coast of the Celts here. Japan, no, they don't start with the custom worker. Because that would have to be done with in the player setup. I could do that, right? I could do it in the scenario setup, but I haven't done that so far, and that's a change that we could talk about, but I felt like maybe that might be a little bit much, having that worker from the get-go, and it's also just more tedious to implement before every game, because I think, again, that's a player-specific setting that I'd have to change depending on every lobby, just like the spawn locations. So that's typically something I tried maybe not to do as much. They build the custom worker. They build the custom worker since turn 1. They can't build normal ones. They just have the one normal one. And he's got 2 more because he just recaptured the settler. He lost his settler to the Iroquois. And then he recaptured this. That's why he has 2 more normal workers. Alright. He can't build any normal ones. Yep. It's a bit confusing, especially once we get into capture situations of the peasants. That's a little bit weird in terms of interactions, but yeah, not too important right now, of course. SDN going for that third city. Maybe you should go back and watch the early game here, Sway, because I feel like Iroquois declares war on Inca. Hold that thought. Looks like, or on India rather. Looks like I didn't miss anything major. Because I think SDN gave a prime example for why the early worker can set you back a ton. I didn't really agree with his choice of that worker as early as he made it, and everybody else was on a second city already with decent pop left in his cap, or in their caps. And SDN, I think only due to that one worker that he built, set himself back quite a bit there. And what is Ava doing? He keeps this ordering in coastal size 1 cities. That's shocking to me. Why do you what does he do to these cities, mate? I like the side of this one though. Look at this, the iron is hooked for the Vikings, and Ava has got 2 prime targets down there, which Archie has already scouted. He sent that longboat down there just a few turns ago to scout out the Celtic coast. I don't think he knows quite where those cities are yet. He hasn't sailed down that far south, but the Celts are definitely the prime target for early boating here, as the Indians don't have any coastal cities yet. Well, they have Madras. I shouldn't say that, but I still like the Celts as the better target here. 1 city worker is so bad. Well, Based on what I've seen, I haven't done the math. Based on what I've seen, I rarely ever like it. Yeah, I, I couldn't think of a spot where I would like it, honestly. Ava is now going for his own iron. Let's see if that prompts Arch to go down there, and it apparently does, because his longship has come back down. He doesn't go for the Indians and instead paths straight to the Celts, it seems. Whereas SDN still just has his war chariot sitting out here, maybe just as a sentry unit, actually. I thought he'd go to someone to try and get an early Golden Age while he still could, but maybe he got spotted by Obi and decided to stay home for that reason. Obi now did exactly what I said. He's hooked that iron with the 2 workers that he's got out of his settler, just made another settler and hooked the iron as quickly as possible. He's got a couple of swords. Let's see how many. 4 for the time being, and 4 samurais too, which shouldn't be underestimated on offense. And he's gonna go straight towards roading the Iroquois, which better get some info about this. They don't know that this is happening yet, so that could be scary for Rever if he doesn't have the necessary defenses. Let's check his army out, actually. He doesn't have a lot of defensive stuff, so that's scary. Obi, in his GA already, definitely able to put a lot of pressure there. Let's see how Archiver's boating's gonna go. I feel like the naval sentries that Ava has set up are pretty good. Archiver hasn't discovered the way around the east side. That would be a prime boating opportunity that Ava couldn't really defend, but I don't think Archiver's thinking about yet. I don't think he even has vision of that island over here. Although, maybe not. That would definitely be the easier route, though, if you knew about it. Of course, that's very easy to point out from my spectator bird's eye point of view, but these guys don't have the map revealed like me, obviously. Hopefully, at least. I mean, that would make for a far less interesting tournament if they did. SDN still sitting on that hill up there. No real new developments up there for India, who popped horseback riding earlier. That's why they can't really go for a great War Elephant upgrade. And now we see Rever spotting out Obi's roading shenanigans here. 3 workers full on committing to that road. There he goes. Doesn't look like there's a double move onto that hill end of turn. So yeah, but the Iroquois are looking to plant a 4th city, and they do that. So they'll have to invest a lot into defense here, because Obi's gonna come with full force, and I assume Ava's also hooking that iron and able to join in on the fun sometime soon. Archive asking for more gold. Maybe he's going for a bigger berserk upgrade, actually. I wonder how many of that he would make. Oh, he just moved that longship within vision of that Celtic warrior, though. So I think Ava's got a pretty good idea of what's coming already. Look at this. We have Japan inching closer here. They don't commit with their sportsmen yet, not really showing their hand, although, of course, the enemy can put 1 and 1 together since they've seen him hook that iron. And he's not made any more swords, instead just more samurai, who are very cheap options for 2 attack units. So Rever's definitely gonna have to pull off a masterful defense here, since he doesn't have a lot of stuff to work with for the time being. No GA yet, as you can see, and no real archer army. That's a bit it's disappointing for him. And it looks like his team's also very low on gold. That's the advantage then that the Indian team has, of course. Archie was still getting more berserks, it seems. Look at this, he's got that 3rd longship out now. Maybe that's going the other direction finally. He's gonna have a little bit of a tough time getting around India's border, but it is possible to head through there without being seen. Although Max also got a galley of his own, so you gotta be careful if you're the Vikings there, not to get your boats sniped. Despite them being very cheap, you don't want to lose them, especially not with units in them if possible. Nice map, thank you. I'm not sure how this one's actually gonna end up playing out, because I'm always a little bit skeptical of putting everybody on a peninsula. But in this case, since both your neighbors are opponents, right? This is a triangular map setup where both your neighbors are always opponents. I felt like people needed some natural defense. And if you look at the land, it's very good for everybody, but not like awesome great, I would say. It's just very good land for everyone. So I felt like this was a playable map, and I'm glad you agree with that. In come the Berserk boats, presumably. Ava picketing the coast for now, but I'm not sure he realizes that picketing isn't all you need. Look at this. Is Alesia potentially in danger here? As these 4-move longships find him, he gets that hit off, but Ava very quick on the reinforce. No archer underneath apparently, and he's putting more units into Alesia. That's a good reaction there from the Celts, because that could have been a kill already. Now he can potentially keep on sailing and find Loch Dunham, which would then be more difficult to reinforce, but I assume Ava just has a warrior army at this point, enabling him to reinforce everything. Hopefully he does, because there goes another hit onto Alesia. It's getting close apparently, and he's just getting killed. He didn't expect 4 berserks to hit there, presumably, and he just gets shut down here, despite that multitude of warriors that he had available. Didn't respect the play enough. That 4-move longship just trips you out if you've never seen it. I've been there myself, and Obi has had enough. He moves in now with his swordsman stack, and he's potentially going to go for the hit here on Allegheny, and that's exactly what he's doing. I don't think Rever's got the defenses necessary. Can Obi save the game and equalize the score at 2 apiece here? 2 players apiece, that is. It looks pretty good for him. The attack is still going through, and Allegheny is now empty. There we go. McClunky, not McClunky, he's chatting. Rever gets taken out in Obi just as quickly as the Vikings took the lead. It's getting equalized by Japan. The 2 new civs already with kills, looking very powerful here. And Ava, you gotta wonder. The thing is, you know what the Vikings can do, but what until you've seen those 4-move boats swoop in during the turn and hit your city at any point during the turn, you really can't imagine what type of pressure that is. And Ava wasn't quite able to handle it. Gets taken out, and the same thing true for Rever. Now, one team just lost its captain, and the other team just lost its its second highest player. So it's not a bad trade, I would say, for Obi's team. He's still up here in the team with McClunky, his lowest player, but on the other side with SDN and Archie, the 2 guys from the tournament. Can they pull out another upset victory? I definitely like Obi's position. He killed a size 1 city, unlike Arch, who's made himself very vulnerable with this. A couple of berserks aren't usually that great on defense. Maybe he's got more in that boat that he's got going over to Japan. No real boating opportunity there yet, though. So this will be interesting. He takes Alesia. That's a very attackable city there. But he's also got 2 more boats out, presumably looking at India and Japan. I still like Obi and Max spot a little bit better here, because yeah, they have a gold pumping civ, and then their captain on Japan, who can still make more upgrades here. He's apparently preparing for a horseman upgrade himself, and the opponents just lost their captain, who was agriculture, who was preparing for that mounted warrior upgrade. And that's a lot of wind taken out of their sails. Now, you gotta remember too that Ava had a lot of warriors already, a lot of cities, so losing him is no small setback either. Looks like more berserks are gonna be loaded up here by Archie, who's in a very safe position now that his strongest neighbor has been taken out, and his other neighbor is not able to really mass produce his unique unit. But hold that thought, I didn't catch that. The galley moved out onto Memphis, and SDN has got a little bit of trouble clearing up those landed war elephants. I didn't catch that. I thought that was purely a defensive galley out of Madras. But that is great news for Archie, who's now got a 3 path through to the Indian cities there. McClunky with a surprise landing. And I pointed out earlier how risky that Memphis plant really was across the river. Very difficult to reinforce, at least on a hill. But he's able to hold the war elephants off this time around, and he gets a GA out of the situation as well. I didn't quite see it, but I just assume maybe the Indians also got their GA there. That would be very valuable intel to have. I just assume both of these guys have just entered their GA. And Obi's GA is still running, of course, but it will be running out soon. Spearman out of Alesia, of course, to make it a little bit more safe. I assume that Obi's probably just rolling up to it, if I had to guess. He's got 2 peasants here, which look like slave workers, so I assume those are enslaved peasants, possibly, that he lost. Nah, I'm not sure why they look like this, honestly, but we'll figure it out. In any case, Archreaver is now 1, 2, 3, 4, almost in boarding distance of could is almost in boarding distance of Madras. The galley comes back around for Max, so maybe he's able to intercept that longship before it's too late. His issues, though, I think there's more than enough units in Madras, or at least in range to reinforce. So I doubt that Arch is going to be able to take this out very easily. He's bringing another longship, it seems, as well as the ones that he's sending around to Obi. So he's going full on warrior. He's really Viking here. Look at this. He's got his own peninsula, and he's sending out boats with people to raid, and that's the Viking spirit. I like to see it. I'm really surprised he's not going through the backside, which has been both in the tournament and also in our testing games has been a very viable source of kills. The back line route here through the volcanoes. I'm surprised none of his ships has had it that way. If for nothing else, then at least for reconnaissance purposes. But he's focusing on the traditional routes so far for the meantime. Now, Mac is probably gonna spot that longship rather soon here, and I'll be surprised if Archreaver still goes through with that attack. We'll see how he ends up handling this as Obi now makes his road up to SDN apparently, and the turn has ended. So at any point, Archreaver could move out here. Look at this though, that's the galley from the Indians. It's out of moves, so it can't attack that Viking longship yet. But Archreaver's got to deal with some resistance here. And I wonder what he's going to do. He's been spotted out. He moves on into Madras, but of course there's a war elephant waiting there. He's going for the hit, so maybe Mac's going to have to reinforce. He's going for the hit on the boat himself, and he takes out that longship, and presumably two berserks with them. So that's a really nice trade for the Indians there. He's lost a war elephant, I believe, in Madras, but he likes what he's seen. He's sunk a longship, and he's got two galleys out that he can use to defend his city there, or all of his cities rather. That's great progress for the Indians. Now Obi, he's sending that stack up north. He's got still those 4 swordsmen that he's had, but a lot of archer samurai underneath that. I'll be surprised if SDN ends up defending that one successfully. I think the time is ticking because this is a huge stack that I don't think SDN is really equipped to deal with. I believe what Archreaver did there is maybe look if there was a captured city by the Iroquois. Maybe that was what he did. That's not the case though, as SDN starts clearing out those warriors that were still hanging around in his land on IB. I'm wondering what the response from Archreaver is going to be right now. He's still, oh yeah, he's now spotted the back route. Maybe he's going to try and catch Obi from the backside there, but the northern path seems rather closed off to him now. Is he going to heavily invest into longships in order to win that naval warfare, or is he going to try and look for a different route to focus on other than that costly naval warfare? Whichever way he goes, he doesn't have a lot of time to figure that out because it looks like Obi's put them on a timer himself. He's also going to reinforce that with a couple of horsemen, I assume, and that's going to be a big stack for anybody to defend, but especially for Egypt, who doesn't apparently have a lot of archers here. Instead, focusing on war chariots and swordsmen, apparently. Let's check him out. What has he got? No archers at all. Oh, right. I don't want to be SDN in this spot. Now, there's not a ton of archers in this deck. Maybe if you have a critical mass of war chariots, you can just hit into this and take him out. But that sounds very wishful thinking-ish to me, because that is a big stack and a lot of war chariots required to clear it out. Now, apparently Archreaver is finding some enjoyment in exploring that back line route, and there he goes. He's now focusing on that. He's got 4 move boats, so he's going to close that distance quicker than it now looks, and that's going to be difficult stuff to handle. Most importantly for Obi, of course, because Max still probably rather safe from the western side as well. But Obi here very boatable at Osaka especially. That's an empty Tokyo as well, though. And even though you're not able to go for the amphibious assault on that city, if it remains empty like that, which of course Archie can't know from the spot that he's in right now, that is still a city you have to defend here. He moves on over. He doesn't see the city just yet, so I wonder what he's gonna do with that. Parking the longship there for now as Obi continues closing in on SDN on the north. I still can't tell who's really winning this one, because Archiva still has the huge naval pressure, whereas Obi has the big doom stack on land that I still don't think SDN is able to contend with, really. This is an interesting look. Now, I'm sorry for not interacting with chat a lot in the recent time, but it's crashed for me, so I can't see chat right now. I would love to see what you guys are talking about with this game. I'll see if I can maybe open it back up. All right, I think the chat is loading for me again. Yep. Oh wow! Thank you guys all for joining here. Khaled and Ava also joining in. I wonder why Ava is watching. That is a surprise. I still don't know who's really in the lead here. Let me guys know what you think. Obi's in a really good spot. I agree with Khaled there, but still not a surefire victory. Obi's now gone for the upgrade, and he's completely empty at home. This is looking terrible for him. He's got both Tokyo and Osaka very buildable. Now, the good news for him is that Archiva doesn't know how attackable all these cities are, excuse me. But this is very easy pickings for the Vikings here usually. I wonder what he's going to do with that boat. He could just hope that it doesn't sink. He's seafaring. I think the correct play is to park your boat here and hope it doesn't sink, because you don't want to show it. Because if you get through safely here, you're then going to be able to get a free hit off that Obi can't see coming. So I wonder what he's going to end up doing. Now, this stack of war elephants also out for Mac right now. So they're probably going to double team up on SDN here. But SDN and Arch, they've done it so many times in the tournament. Can they pull out yet another upset win? Especially against... Oh, he shows the boat now. That's of course unfortunate for him. He now alerts Obi to what's coming. That's a lot of horsemen in Osaka now. So, yeah, unfortunate there for Archie, but he still goes for the hit. Not sure how those hits go, of course. Might have been able to take a few out. At least one horseman dead is what we know. But that's really unfortunate for him. He gave away his whereabouts there. He did a real good job of staying outside vision end of turn and not sinking. But I think he should have played it slow and waited for the reinforcement longships. Although the northern ones are still a good bit away apparently. So I guess a breather for Obi now, who survived that hit from the sea that looked very dangerous, especially at Tokyo as well, which was unbeknownst to Archiver empty for a very long time. Now Obi and Mac with the momentum on their side, they've got their stacks pretty close to Egypt already, and SDN probably doesn't know exactly what's coming just yet. Don't think he's seen the full might of what the enemy is bringing. Now that might change soon, but I like that Obi is reinforcing Osaka. He's really making a point not to noob out here, especially after Archiva announced his arrival. Oh, he's gonna be very angry at himself if he looks back at this WOT and sees how easy pickings Japan really was here, fully committed to that offensive assault. But now SDN is all on himself, having to defend that stack here, and it's not looking easy. Does he have any archers at least by now? He does not. Now it's only a 5-player game. Archers aren't that ridiculously OP at this point, and it seems as though Archiva was able to at least retrieve one berserk from that landing, from that amphibious landing, and he's gonna heal that one back up. He's apparently fully committing to the hit on Osaka here and sending all his boats down there, but I wonder if SDN's gonna stay alive long enough in order for that to work out. I like Archeriva's plan at the same time. They're going for horsemen, because you're gonna need something on India as well, and not that you can't boat him that easily for now. So having some cavalry reinforcement to your boats is definitely a good choice there. SDN now starting to spot out those enemy stacks rather soon. These are a lot of horsemen and war elephants though, and those on their own could double move onto him very soon as well, although the foot soldier stack shows first, so he knows that his turns are limited. What can he do? Can he maybe hit into this and decimate it a little bit? I don't think he's got the numbers in order to really do that. I also don't believe he's seen that war elephant stack yet, so he doesn't likely know that that's coming. And the Indian galleys are still putting pressure on him. He must still have that memory present of getting landed just a couple of turns ago from out of nowhere, so he's gonna be hesitant to leave his backline city empty as well. Archiver could go for the hit here onto Osaka as early as next turn maybe. And he's brought a lot more berserks apparently, so maybe there's a chance it works out here. Although Obi has been alerted to the Viking presence in the area, and he's keeping units around. Now, even with the spearmen, I do like that a lot. Doubling end of turn is a real chance for Mag, and I think they're going to go for the hit start of next turn already. I don't think there's a point in waiting any longer, especially with the pressure that's on Obi already. And SDN and Arch are once more down and counted out potentially. Be waking up the stack here. Obi moving in. And this is gonna be very difficult to deal with now. Maybe the good news for SDN is that Obi is sort of blocking the War Elephant stack with that move that he just made. But I don't think it matters all too much, right? You're still not happy about seeing that stack here, no matter what the Indians can bring. And if you clear out this stack, which he's starting to do, apparently he's just hitting full on into that Japanese stack. In goes the Indian galley. Good picketing job here by SDN. He's under full pressure now, and he's moving all the units over that he can. Here goes the War Elephant stack as well, as the combat still resolves here. And Heliopolis is under huge fire as the Japanese have survived with a lot of units here. I don't think SDN is gonna live for all that much longer, because he's not been able to take out a lot of units out of this stack. And in come the horsemen, hit onto Heliopolis. Is this the last turn for SDN? It very much looks like it. He tries to move around what he still can, but it just doesn't look like it's enough. Heliopolis, another watch area in there. That's just a bunch of one defense units without any archer support underneath. So I can't see him trading favorably here at all, especially with this offensive power that the Japanese have brought. Last couple of swordsmen apparently holding on strong there in Heliopolis. But how long is this gonna work out? Max spotting the empty backline cities as well there. Maybe SDN could go for a hit onto that galley and at least relieve that backline pressure. But there we go. Gets taken out at Heliopolis, and it's now 2 versus 1 Archreaver all on his own. He's been in that situation a couple of times, but he's not in the greatest of carry spots, I don't think. And that's the second kill for Obi. He's really turning up the pressure now, and he's got all those units up on Heliopolis. What's gonna happen to him at home though? As the turn timer ends, he's gonna start bringing those units back, I believe. But can Archreaver maybe take him out before he gets home there? I would be surprised if he could. But there he goes. In come the longboats onto Osaka. He moves all of them, but Kyoto, that spearman, is coming over as well. 2 defense is at least something better than those archers, but there goes the hit. Does he have enough berserks in order to make this attack work? He didn't bring the one from the ivory, so maybe that could come to bite him in the end. The attack apparently still going through, but so far it's looking good for Obi. The archers are still standing. And is there still combat going on? Apparently there is, but he's holding strong so far, and Kyoto is probably still producing units per turn here. The spearman has dropped. How many more berserks are there? This is difficult to handle, and he actually manages to take him out, and once more the score is equalized here. The second kill of the game for Archreaver, and Osaka has fallen now. It looks like we end up dropping here, which is kind of unfortunate. I should have saved after the kill on to SDN. Although I think that was last turn anyway. So again, within 1 turn, these guys are taking each other out and trading kills back and forth. Archreaver with his second one, taking out the enemy MVP, and that's a huge momentum shift as we prepare for the reload here. That's some exciting exciting trades here. Wow. 4 kills in this game already. That's the type of action that we would ideally like to see in a tournament. That's some hype gameplay going on here. Some hype trades, and with Archiver left versus Mac at this point. Is this yet another upset from the SD and Archiver duo? No offense to Rever, but just for the sake of my narrative, I sort of well, negligate. What's the word there? Neglect. I gotta neglect you a little bit there. Oh Lord, that's incredible stuff here from Archiver again, getting multiple kills in a game here. I love to see that. And how fun does this patch look, guys? How fun is this? These guys are trading aggressively and it's working out for them. They're making big stacks and getting kills without even having to wait 90 turns. I love what I'm seeing so far. And we're waiting for that reload to go through. Oh, man. That's some brutal combat there. Oh, Ava, I apparently the Steam chat is just it's just getting cleared up what happened there for Ava. Oh, bruh. Oh, man. Oh, man. As we're bantering here, we're waiting for Mac to get into that reload. All right, we're here for the reload. So fucking sweaty, dude. I'm sweatier than Suede when he's in modern turn 88. This is not fun climate here. Oh, bruh. All right, we're loading. We're loading. Gotta find the right autosave. The latest autosave should be the correct one. Oh, but did they actually both die the same turn? Uh. Oh God. We're trying to get that reload set up. It's a bit confusing. All right, let's see. We're reloading with an AI for Obi, so we'll see if that if he can still take that city as he did, and if Archiver can bring this one home. We're waiting though, so we'll see how how this one ends up going. Rever tries for the roll onto Osaka again. He should be able to take this one out. And there he goes. Works without much issue. And all of a sudden, it's a 1v1 for the show match victory here. McClunky versus Rever, who has a big score lead. I don't see Mac really winning this one. What a huge victory for Rever again. He's really good at salvaging difficult games here, even with difficult odds. Although this is a testing game, of course, and people are still getting caught off guard a little bit by the Viking longboats, especially Ava, who didn't really know their stats. Still, for the sake of my narrative, let's praise Rever a ton, who's got, wow, he's really spamming out these longships. Again, there are 11 shields in accelerated production, so they're really cheap to get out. And if he's got enough units on there, doesn't even need to be all berserks necessarily. He's possibly able to get the ace here and triple kill his opponents for the first ever triple kill in a Hardrada casted game, I believe. I don't think we had a triple kill in the future tournament. As Alesia's on fire, he'll get at least one burning cap for that one, although that's not a cap in no meaning of that word. He's now transitioning his army on over to India, and he'll see if he can take some cities out there. Well, just one would probably be enough for his liking. And Mac is trying to get some naval sentries set up, but this is a map a map with a multitude of ways that lead to your opponent. So you gotta have a lot of ships out to make sure that you're not getting boated, especially when your opponent has a fleet like this. Look at this, 5 longships on over here, 4 more over there in the west. How is India gonna defend this? Are the Vikings just overpowered with ships that move so quickly, are so cheap, and have such strong naval assault units? I don't personally believe so still, but I'd love to look forward to community discussion. So if you have seen this game, if you have watched so far, and think to yourself, this can't be legit, there's no way Obi and Ava could have defended this, then let me know. Take part in the discussion in the Discord server, or maybe even better, in the Steam group in the tournaments chat, and let me know what you think of these civs, especially the Vikings. Are they OP? Are they fine as they are? Let me know what you guys think, if you have any strong opinions one way or the other, or maybe if you just think they're fine and would like to see more of them in the tournament, which is definitely gonna happen. All that balance talk behind us, we have the 2 last remaining civs being 2 of the new ones, and I don't think that India is the greatest one you would like to have in a 1v1 matchup like this, especially in the late game when you can't really put that gold to great use anymore. He finally gets that warrior of the mountain, so at least the sentry is relinquished here. Yep, and that's gonna be his play apparently. He's gonna try to sneak those elephants through the Alps and move on into Viking land. Now, the question is, can Rever get to him before he gets hit by that? Or can he possibly defend those elephants? It looks like he's heavily focusing on offense here. He's put all the archers on the offensive, and how many does he have? He's got 10, so it's like 6 here, and presumably even more on the boat. So he's very weak at home, especially to 2 move attackers. Very difficult to reinforce effectively between Copenhagen and Trondheim for him. So I'd be a little bit scared here. Of course, he doesn't know that those war elephants are coming on over and how close they are yet, especially. But still, that is worrisome for him. He's now moving in with those archers, and that means he's gonna send those boats on over pretty soon as well. And that is pretty much the go signal for McClunky. He now sees those archers, and he could attack into them, which would be a terrible decision in my mind. But he could also just take this as a sign that there's probably not that much defensive bombard left for the Vikings at this point, and try to move on through to the Viking homeland. And that's exactly what he's electing to go for. I like that. He can move on here and through the flatlands into the Viking backline. More units are being loaded into the longships, and he's gonna leave in this turn, I believe, since he's got a long way to go. I assume he's just gonna land outside Delhi and not wrap all the way around for Madras again. But who knows? He's got options here, definitely. It looks like Mac also moved the galley away, and so now he's not even seeing that 4 longship fleet that's approaching from the west. So that's gonna be interesting. Yeah, Ava, of course you weren't that familiar with the mod yet. And dude, I made the mod and I still got caught off guard in the testing games by the 4 move boats. You just don't expect enemy to move 4 tiles and then be able to launch an attack on a city during any point of the turn that he wants. So there's a difference between knowing what these things do and then being prepared to answer what the Vikings can do. And definitely I agree that, or I can imagine that this is pretty tough to handle then. Warrior upgrades. Warrior upgrades to Berserk, or maybe are you one Archer and Ava holds? Oh yeah, yeah. I think he just needed some defensive bombard. He didn't expect that. He didn't expect that attack to be that powerful, I don't think. And oh, look at this one. Good job by Archiver spotting the War Elephants that can now prepare a little bit, at least, for their arrival. But yeah, warrior upgrades to Berserk. Or you mean the Indians could go for warrior upgrades with all the gold that they have? I'm not sure which exactly that is that you're referring to. Um, but this is interesting. A little bit of a standoff here as Arch brought those archers forward, and he's now having to deal with a medium-sized war elephant stack on his home front, which without having presumably that much defensive bombard left. Looks like he's not going forward with all these long ships. Maybe he's leaving a couple behind, maybe some with archers especially, in order to handle those war elephants. But also, that being a pure cavalry stack, you can just hit into it with a lot of berserks and just smash it to pieces on defense. So berserks would be a very powerful tool against horsemen, especially on defense, I imagine, as he moves on forward with the archers. And what I think he's going to do is maybe try this to take this road tile and make a landing on the forest to go for Delhi, something like that. Not entirely sure, but the fleets are approaching from both sides. India's getting cornered. Arch putting up some walls. Decent choice, although size 7 is probably also not that far, not that long away. And in terms of score, I believe Arch is sitting pretty. He's up 26 in score, but I don't know necessarily how the team score is looking like. I think Obi's probably big. He's not that big, much bigger than SDN, and Kelson and Iroquois are about the same. So Archiver is definitely ahead in score, and I don't think Mac is catching up either, because they're not making any more cities, neither of them. So Arch definitely gonna expand on that score lead. So what India needs is a kill, or he's gonna lose. Now that longship is getting spotted out by the warrior at least. That alerts Mac of the multiple angle threat that's closing in on him right now, as those longships are preparing for a landing. Presumably already this turn, right? He could land this turn and then double move at the end of the turn onto the road. Maybe this is what he's looking at, as the Indians are shuffling their units around a little bit in order to defend that potential naval play that's being lined up here. That's just a ton of longboats, a critical mass, dare I say, that you don't want to be faced with. If you're the last one on your team especially. Not that many outs, I'm afraid. Further expand out of Madras, a cheap temple for the Indians, at least increases the score a little bit and makes it easier to spot incoming galleys. That's actually a move that I like a lot. He can't wrap around the east coast to Madras. Maybe it's a little bit late for that to matter, but I still respect the move, and I think that's a decent build. He's missing 2 longships. He used to have 4 on this front. Did he try to take out this galley and lose them both? I wonder where these 2 longships went that used to be over here on the western front. I must have missed some combat going on there, but he's definitely still got that fleet on the east side. That's very important to keep track of. And I wonder what he's preparing here. Maybe he's only keeping them around just in case. Maybe he's not really looking to land unless he has to. Maybe he's content bringing home that score victory, but I doubt that that's the case. People usually want to close out with kills, even in tournament games when there's so much on the line, because they don't want to be that lame guy that wins via score. He moves in with the longships now, apparently landing on that mountain, and that's exactly what he does. He's bringing the whole army, and the archers are moving up too, trying to get that road, and it's looking very good for him. I wonder how Mac's going to be able to deal with that one. The road is the prime target here, but he's going straight for the hit in onto Delhi. And how can Mac respond to that? It's looking pretty difficult. These Berserks are checking out unit after unit here. And defensive Bombard is very weak in the 3-player scenario already. Delhi is getting cut to pieces, and Bombay as well. That's a good two-front attack from Archriver, and Bombay is just barely holding on. Is there any more archer movement points left? As the spearman is finally recalled into the city, it looks like Mac might have held on for the time being. These berserks are badly wounded, but not beaten yet. And Mac has held on for a second here. Wow, that was a really close affair here from Archriver. He didn't go for the road, instead goes for the double attack onto Bombay and Delhi. And he almost gets the kill. The 1 HP warrior in Bombay defending the city, but he still got that Western Front fleet, that Western fleet in up his sleeve, really, and he's still wrapping around with more boats onto Madras. Is he gonna go for the 3-city pressure before going for his next attack? I wonder what he's gonna end up playing this like. He's woken up those berserks and he's going for the re-hit onto Delhi. He's taken out unit after unit, but I wonder if that's actually the best move. Maybe he should have taken the Bombard out with the archers first. He's cutting through them for now, though, and there's very little units left in Delhi. He's getting the military-grade leader, but that's probably the least of Mac's concerns for now, as he rescues it onto a boat. And Delhi is very, very badly beaten. It's still not over yet. Mac has held on, and he's still got the War Elephants on offense, despite being spotted out. He still has got a couple units on his opponent at least. Now, the most important thing is, of course, holding on here. If he dies, that's immediate game over. He's got them longships over in the west, though, and that's a difficult threat to deal with, because not only can he hit Madras at any point during the turn, but he can also land at Bombay and renew his attack on that city, which is, of course, very tough to defend if you've got to worry about Delhi that much as well. Still more longships circling around his island. You'd hate to be Mac in that spot. He's moving those war elephants forward, at least it seems. Woken them up, moves in towards Trondheim and Copenhagen, but Archibald goes for the hit. Does he get it off in time as Copenhagen is put on fire? Who's gonna get the hit onto whom? It looks like Mac has gotten the units through into Copenhagen, and that's a lot of archers missing in the city. I don't really like the odds here for Archriver, as he's taking damage and taking hit after hit there. He's now starting to reinforce, but it's a little bit slow. Has he overplayed his hand with the archers down there? It's a slow reinforcement, and he's taken out. Mac has turned the game around in the end. Incredible effort there by the man. The Indians are actually the one coming out on top, and Archriver maybe choking it away in the end here. Had more than enough archers, I believe, to survive that hit, but went for the proactive hit onto the War Elephants instead, and ends up getting taken out here. McClunky showing up with a valiant performance here, getting the enemy big stack bully onto his knees, and that's that show match done here. A victory for Team Obi, McClunky, and Ava, but more importantly, of course, a victory for the viewers. A nice watch here, and let's debate vividly about how we like these new civs. I love to see that. Oh man. Oh god. That was a hype match, dude. 5 kills, and it was close up until the very, very end. Looks like we might be getting a second match up. If there's enough people interested, we could just do another match right after this one. I wonder if these guys all have time still, especially SDN and Obi, who are in Europe. Okay, let's see if these guys want to play another. Rever, Ava, Obi, SDN, Mac, and Arch. And it looks like we might just be getting a second match here. That's so cool if we were actually able to play two 3v3s here, one after the other. Looks like a lot of people are joining in, so it looks like we're possibly good to go for a second time here. I'm just trying to see which map I'm gonna use. I have a bunch lined up, but yeah, again, not sure which one I want to play here. Maybe this one looks fine. Don't see a reason why this wouldn't work. I actually I want to use a um. Okay, who are we missing here? And yeah, which map are we gonna play? Maybe we'll play this one here actually. We could try this one here. I'm not the greatest fan of this map, but let's just try a few out and see what people think about them. This is only testing anyways. HardradaMPT, exactly. Who are we missing? Ava's here, SDN Arch, Obi, Rever, and Mac. Mac is missing, so I wonder if Mac's got time for another one. He was the last survivor of the last game, so I wonder if he's got time for a rematch. Good point there, Swade. He could have blocked that tile that put him in that bad spot where the archers could hit both cities. I agree that that would have been a decent tile to hold on to, if possible. So let's see if Mac is still or again available. Oh no, Mac is here. Great, 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 great. We've got these 7 people here. Damn. Love to see it. I love to see it. It's getting so fucking hot in here though, but I can't do anything about that, I don't think. We've got the people necessary. I gotta set up the spawn logs. I forgot about that. We'll do same teams, I guess. Ava, Obi, and Mac. 2, 5, 7 versus 3, 4, 6, that is. Okay. Gotta set up that map. Player 3, 4, and 6, yep. 3, 4, 6, 3, 4, 6. 3, 4, and 6 are on the same team. and then 2, 5, and 7. Play 2, 5, and 7. Three, 4, 6, 2, 5, 7. Looks like I got it. So loading the sen. And looks all set up here. I'll cool myself off a little bit. I'll be back in a second. I love the competitive spirit that Ava is showing, though. He's the first one to ask for that rematch. Okay, we're making for guys to make the picks. So, yep. 3, 4, 6 is what I said, right? Yep. So we have India, Japan there. Okay, we've got 2 of the new CIVs. Looks like we might just get a rematch with swapped CIVs. That would be cool if we get the same matchup. Maybe. Well, we'll see. I don't want to force it on them though. No! Does Mac have to leave? Or did he drop? He didn't say anything, so I'd be surprised if he had to leave without telling us. I think he dropped. We'll get him back in though. That's fine. Yay, let's go. Oh, is he going for the Scandinavians then, McClunky? Looks like it. Okay, Ava again with the agri roll then, I guess. And Max gonna get stuck with the Vikings. Oh, he's asking for Ava maybe. Not sure what exactly he's asking for, but these guys will figure it out for themselves. I don't have to direct this conversation. This is a much easier conversation than last week in the lobby. Not really. I just like to talk shit. Okay, looks like they picked Egypt for Obi and then Ava also offering to do Hittites. That would be classic, the classic Ava Hittites for the show match. And then Obi would go for the Agri. We'll see what they end up going. Okay, looks like everybody is satisfied with the picks too. So here we go. Let's hope I set up the scenario properly. And we prepare for the reload, yeah, for the spectator setup. That'll take a couple of minutes, so grab yourselves some snacks and let me know how you like that first match, most importantly, because that was a banger. And I'm of course setting up the spectating stuff again. This will take a while, right? We're getting those spies planted, we're getting those contacts. Oh, was there the contact last time or something? Not sure. There's sometimes some weird bugs with con, apparently, or maybe I just set it up badly once. But we'll see. I hope no bugs this time around. I do not want to quit, as I accidentally hit that key. And I'm now trying to get those spies planted, just letting you know I'm setting up the spectator mode. Oh shit! They can get free con with their teammates over those settlers. That's the problem. Shit, I never thought about that. Ah, I fixed that for the actual tourney games, I think. I'll fix that for the actual tourney games. That's I can't believe I didn't think of that, but of course that's a big feature there. Ah, my bad there. Thanks that these guys are finally pointing this out to me. I never thought of that. But of course, if you put those volcano settlers out turn one, people can just get con. Huh. Alright. People are still playing their first turns, so this will take, again, like 3 or 4 more minutes until this game truly starts. So don't, yeah, don't worry. Yeah, that's definitely a weak point in my setup so far. Just waiting for Rever then, I guess, to finish up his turn. And then the reload can commence shortly. Okay, looks like we're about ready then for the reload. Although no. Oh, whatever. Figuring out if these guys are done yet. There we go, we're going for the reload. This one took a little bit longer. It shouldn't be a big issue. Okay. I'm hosting that lobby back up, and that show match is going to commence shortly. All getting back in, and finally we'll get to that game 2 here. Same team, so I don't even need to change the overlay. Although I guess I could add scores. Ah, never mind. That doesn't look too good. Oops. We have an intruder in this lobby. Convincing them to leave, which they did voluntarily. That is very fine of them. Masked sniper leaving that lobby after being told that it's a reload without any discussion. I love to see it. Okay. People taking a while to check in here. We're gonna get back in here in a second. Hey, Rapdag! Glad you're here, as the game is just launching, but what are you watching from? Your hotel room? Are you out and about? What's going on? And there we go. We're in game, and that spectator mode has apparently been implemented successfully. Although, apparently somebody didn't plan turn 1. I wonder why that is. He must have misclicked his settler there. Unfortunate, but sometimes occurs apparently. And here we go, underway with that rematch of this show match. The Rever, RSDN, and Archiver came so close to stealing game 1, but ultimately didn't succeed. I'll get that spy onto Ava now and see if it gets through. Of course it doesn't. Well, that happens, I guess. Here we roll for that rematch. Now for the teams. Ooh, you're at the house. That's cool. Family. Are you with more than just your wife? Did you make a big family holiday? Is that what's going on? Okay, now for this map setup here, we have A-A-B versus B-B-A. So team is top left, top middle, and bottom right versus bottom left, bottom middle, and top right. So on the right half of the map, we have an X-shaped team setup, cross team. On the left side of the map, on the western part, we have two front lines versing each other. Now, unfortunately for the Vikings, they did not spawn on one of the favorable naval locations, but instead over here on the eastern part, where you're not that easily or not that likely to get off well, I shouldn't say that. You still have a close coast where you can boat from. I just mean that you can't get this nice inland lake to boat through, which is actually not fresh water. This is a inland. It is a real sea, a real ocean. Just yeah, you can't sadly boat alongside that, which would have been an interesting angle, especially for the Vikings. All right. So what do we have here? We have on the two ISO positions here, on the isolated spots, we have McClunky's Vikings and Rever's Japanese. So it's the captain of one team versus the lowest ranked player of the other team. However, right there next to him is the other team's captain, and that's even closer to him. So Obi with the early Egyptian war chariots might be able to give Rever a lot of trouble once more. And I don't think that SDN's Indians up here in the north are the best or easiest civ to pressure the opponent with. So, honestly, oh, it looks like Ava walked a turn. Walked a tile first turn. It looks like he spawned down here and walked off the PG, so that's why he didn't plant turn 1. My bad there. Yeah, so what I was saying is that this looks like a pretty nice setup here for Obi's team. He's close to two enemies. And he is, yeah, and he's Egypt, so we can get a nice early rush going. People asking if that's a random map. It's not a random map, despite there being a lot of tundra. A very different style of map, but not random. Although I'm flattered that he thinks that this could have been random, because usually the maps don't look very random. I like how this one looks, despite it being a bit janky. And I said before that I didn't think this was a great map, one of my favorites, but I'll give it a shot for the testing purposes. Interesting move, SDN. Irrigating those wines, that's a 3-food tile then, as you can see. 4 foods for me, but of course 3 for them with the despotism penalty. A 3-food tile, although no shields on there, that's great for early growth. Same move done by Obi down south as well, who's already size 2. Well, that's interesting. Archie, but what is he owing about? He's saying the map might have a lot of channels. Well, I'm not saying it has a lot of channels, but the second statement here is the more accurate assessment. Which team won game 1? Yeah, I should have added that in score. First game was won by OB, barely. It was a 5-kill game, and in the end, the advantage switched sides multiple times, and in the end, Obi's team ended up winning by Mac, of all people, being the last surviving member and killing Rever. So it was very, very exciting game, all until the very end. And Ava here on the Iroquois, he's apparently going for he walked one turn, right? And he's not got a warrior out just yet. He might be going for a rather greedy build here. We'll see if he ends up getting punished for it, because he was the first one to die last game. Well, more or less. Died at the same time as Rever. You don't want to meet that same fate again. Despite having played very respectfully last game, he just wasn't respectful of the Viking threat enough. Has that warrior out right now, so I like that. He can do warrior per turn. Not quite yet, actually. That's a bit unfortunate here. He doesn't have a forest in his cap. So I wonder if he factored that in when he moved away from the 2 forests here that the Celts themselves have. Yeah, Ava, a bit surprising with the decision to move off that, to move one tile along that river. Wonder what his exact reasoning for that was. As we see Mac with some nice early warriors. He's just got that first settler apparently, as Downtime went back to size 1. Gets that settler out, and apparently got a forward plan towards the coast here. This looks like a pretty decent spot. And an early coastal city for the Vikings is all you really need to have a nice game. Archie was slowly scouting around Ava's border. I think he could see it now. He sees these 2 hills, so he could have vision of that border, but it's sometimes hard to tell. Never mind though, he's spotted him and lets his team know that he spotted the enemy Iroquois. And I'll wonder who's gonna get the early edge in that 1v1 matchup there. As over in the east, it's probably gonna get a lot more heated than that. This cross team setup here with Viking Egypt versus India Japanese is really interesting there, and I wonder how that's gonna play out. Obi and Rever already starting to trade warriors, send warriors towards each other, and Rever so far with the better early priority here, gonna get onto the hills and the mountains and secure the bigger vision for himself. He's also already size 4. He's got some nice land to work with here, and he's not gonna get overwhelmed all that easily as I first thought perhaps, although the biggest threat is still to come, which is gonna be that war chariot push that's likely gonna be directed towards him. And people again continue to trade locations with each other. Mac and Obi closing in on Rever there, and the Indians here of SDN still in the north middle part of the map, not really getting involved all that much here. Can't see any of his warriors out and about, which is surprising. He's made again that second worker that I criticized last game already, and that put him behind in growth quite a bit. I'm not really a fan of that. It seems to be a go-to move for him in a sense, as the Japanese are perhaps chopping a barracks out of Kyoto, which is of course, due to them being militaristic, a very quick chop. Obi popping a warrior up here gets him some more early reconnaissance, and probably gonna figure out about Obi, or probably gonna get con with Maclong here, which he just got right there anyways. Alright then, Ava, this time around with a lot of early workers, the opposite of what he did last game, where he got a lot of cities without ever getting another worker. This time around, focusing on that working force with immense growth out of capital. Probably can do work per turn here. He doesn't quite grow per turn, as you can see here. It's a 4 food tile, so we don't get the growth per turn here with Gran, which would be pretty ridiculous in MPT. But that's still a huge food income that you get out of Salamanca there. Gotta get some warriors now though, in order not to get overwhelmed. Iron working down for Mac apparently. He doesn't have iron all that close. Japan and Egypt declaring war over here. Probably they're in Thebes, where Obi might have been sweating for a while. We were taking the role, not getting the results he likely wanted, and now gave up the warrior that he had in the opponent's land for a role that didn't go his way. So Obi's gonna like that. He's gonna be able to hook his res without any issues there. And on the contrary, now also has his warrior out there on Rever. I wonder if he's gonna be able to get onto that mountain. And oh lord, on the contrary, apparently he gets the worker here, and also gets that disband off. Oh jeez, that's terrible news for Rever there. At least he gets that unit cleared out and also buys himself some space at home, but he's gonna hate losing his worker like that early on. Gonna need some early peasants to make up for that, and that's definitely not what you like to see there. Very nice second city for Archiver there, getting Alesia along the river. No forest. Oh, well, can at least work some forest there, if nothing else. Decent planned towards Avos Iroquois, who's still not gone for another settler. I don't like that move, really. Let me try and get another round of spies out. Doesn't look too good for me. Apparently, yeah, at least I get onto Archiver. But I don't really like the fact that Ava's neglecting settlers like that. This is how a peasant is supposed to look. All right, that's what he's supposed to look like. Look at this beautiful model here with that animation. So he's now made up for that work that he's lost and gonna get those improvements up and running as well. I wonder why Mac's not moving in to the Japanese land to get some intel of what's going on there, or maybe to just pressure him at all. But that makes it easier for Rever to just build up more at home. Whereas Obi, he's gonna hook those forces. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually ended up walking all the way to the coast, since the Vikings aren't on his enemy team, but might just plant there due to a lack of roads. I wonder what he's gonna end up doing there. Cities planted for both Obi and Ava this turn, as SDN is putting my emote to good use here. Yeah, that worker loss is pretty sloppy, I do agree. But SDN at least giving me an opportunity to use that emote nicely. Wait, how do you have Goro? Oh, dang it! Of course you're right. I completely forgot about the agri factor. You have growth per turn, of course, if you're agri with the cow. Both the aggressives getting the cow as well is ridiculous. My bad. Thanks for correcting me there. Yeah, that is a beautiful emote, isn't it? That's just beautiful. That burning cap. And again, we get another one. Oh Lord, they're really letting us have a field day with those emotes today, as both SDN and now Archie on the same team. A little bit sloppy with their growth management. Now both of them are from Europe, so maybe it's just the time getting late for them and they're getting a little bit sloppy for that reason. That peasant over here, I really like those models. They're looking really cool. So 2 of them out already for Rever. I'm happy to see that he's putting them to good use. And still, SDN are rather uninvolved here, not sending, not reaching any enemies red with those warriors. It's building up at home, maybe just gonna play the cash cow here this time around as the Indians, which is their intended use anyways. And he gets his second city off as well. Remember that early worker did set him behind a lot. Even compared to Obi, he's behind in population, and that it wasn't really necessary, I don't think. That's a 4 food tile here, whereas Mac decided to mine the wheat. I'm more on Mac's side here. I don't love the irrigation a lot here, since you can't grow per turn without being agricultural, as we just learned from Rap Deck. Yeah. No, the peasant is a buildable unit. The peasant is their worker. The peasant is their worker. It's a 2-move worker. They only had a regular worker to start with. So they start with a normal worker, but then they can only build peasants after that. They're the same cost, so there's no downside to building the peasant. But it is a 2-move worker, nothing more or less than that. Gonna like having that. In any case, you can make some pretty nice end of turn plays with those. as far as I'm concerned. Okay, I see. You get the quicker growth without Gran. That's a valid reason. Now, this inland lake here is unfortunately not fresh water, so Ava, of course, needs that city to get those horses, but it's not going to be the agricultural bonus there for him. And oh, look at that, Alesia. A little bit of a close call situation there, apparently, with some barbs visiting Arch at home. So far, so good though. And finally, well, no, that's actually Obi's warrior getting onto that mountain. I wonder why he walked all the way on over there, but he's aiding Japan in the early defense department. And I guess same thing as for Obi last game. Maybe just get a third city out, build your samurai, and then take the free golden age that you almost always gonna get when the opponent has sentry or more choking warriors on you like that. Mm, that's just, yeah, again, when you're playing against Japan, you don't necessarily want to give them free GA with the warriors strolling around. Ava did end up planting there. I like the canal aspect of the city. Gonna be followed by Archiever, who's gonna do the same. Still with the more aggressive plant there. The Celts more towards Ava, who's been expanding more towards the back side. Clear trends visible there. And third city for both these parties. And well, very symmetrical expansion right here for all these guys. It's interesting to see because this is a axis symmetry here, this map, so we can directly compare the opponents from top to bottom as in how they are planting. And we can see the Vikings prioritized the coastal over here with more of the food, whereas the Japanese went more for more of the production with the bonus grassland over here. I wonder which one of these is going to end up paying off more. Only now, apparently, Opie been spotted by the opponents. Although, no, Rever did definitely see his land before as he hit into Thebes. And the reinforcement onto the wheat just to make sure your archer doesn't get caught off. And that's the third city. So now, at this point, I wouldn't mind Japan taking that GA he hits with the archer, but that is a terrible roll. I'm pretty sure he just hit with the archer that he had on the wheat. Uh, I'll just save to be sure. And there he goes. He gets it. Oh, never mind. Apparently, I might have had another archer. In any case, he gets that unit out of there. Doesn't get a free GA anymore, but that's what Obi's warrior is here, most likely. That's what he's here for. He's going to give that Japanese GA once he wants it. And I think 3 cities is a pretty decent spot to take GA from. Now, in GA, you'd definitely like to have that mined wheat here, I feel like. That would be awesome to have, really. But you're right, that one turn quicker growth cannot be underestimated under any circumstances. Retriever's nice warrior wall over here gives him safety at home. And Ava's still in his expansion phase here with all those workers that he's got. Same thing for Archiver, though both of these guys really investing a ton in workers. Ava must have another settler out, right? Why is Salamanca size 5 to Andromond size 7? I believe he probably has another settler out. I can't check, sadly, since my spies keep failing on him. But he might even go for that 4th city pretty soon there. That's the Japanese. I wonder how long until their GA. And a very aggressive second plan for the Vikings. They don't go for their backline iron, instead going very aggressively forward. A second coastal city, which I like a lot. And just for the iron here, I can see that plan. That is a reasonable plan. I just would have thought that people would prioritize the backline iron, which has more decent land around that. What's Ava up to though? He's not a fan of this map. Okay. It's ugly as fuck. I think this is a pretty fine, a pretty good looking map. I don't think it is a good map, but I think it's a good looking map. I very much like the aesthetics of aesthetic. It is a TH definitely, but I'm not sure. Maybe you have the Greek pronunciation there. It's a very aesthetic map, in my opinion. So, especially once you take this away, I like the look of this. So I don't agree with Ava there. But again, I specifically mentioned I chose this map for the show match because I didn't really like it for the tournament. And since I didn't want to use a map too similar to the last one, this is the one I picked. And Ava's gonna have to deal with it whether he likes it or not. Not that many nice agricultural river spots that he can settle anymore, really. But that's okay. He's gonna have to deal with what he's been given. And you still have nice land with Iroquois and horses close. So you're not gonna complain. And Archivers really making making those marshmallows more than just medium rare. And we can see confirms it in the chat that indeed these marshmallows are yummy as the Latin th. Well, it's I think like th is Greek originally, right? It's the theta. The you say it's theta, but it's actually in I think it's theta. I think Americans pronounce it theta, but I'm not sure. The theta in any case. So that would be T, pronounced as T, right? Ascetic. Oh God, you're hitting me with my own level of puns. I love it. I love it. Yep, 2 moves on those peasants. That's the beauty of these units. I like them a lot. I think that's pretty cool design. It makes for some interesting plays. And also, it's a little bit weaker than the Industrious trade, but it is still comparable to that. So definitely not bad to have. Obi on 3 cities. I wonder if he's also going to take that GA soon. And I wonder how this is going to play out. There's not a lot of room for maneuvering here, especially on the western part. These guys are just going to connect their empires, and then are just going to smash stacks at their opponents, presumably, especially here on the very west. They don't have a lot of angles for plays. They can do some boating, but really the only opponent they can realistically hit is their direct neighbor. And if you plant these cities here too badly, if either one of these guys would have planted on the horse, they wouldn't even have been able to sneak stacks through their teammates' lands anymore. Glad neither of them did that. I like the plant here much better. And that's a 4th city out for the Vikings. That's interesting. I wonder why he's got that many coastals. I think his thought process might be that he wants to spam longships in order to make sure he gains that naval priority. And these cities are definitely good for it. Although, in fairness, even without wanting to make boats, all of these 3 cities have a justification for being planted. You don't access any bonus grasslands, any additional ones if you plant somewhere in the backside, and these are still some pretty decent cities. So I don't think this is anything special, the way he planted these, but it is just a good thing to note that he's going to be able to spam out those longships, which are cheaper than regular galleys, remember. Those are 11 shields in accelerated production. Iroquois galley, I like to see that. And Obi takes his GA over here from SDN3, GA for the Egyptians. That's gonna be yummy for him. He's gonna spam those war chariots out now, and I wonder if Rever's gonna be equipped to deal with that. Whereas SDN's now also getting a couple of chariots out. He's only got his first one now, whereas Egypt is already on 3, so that's gonna be big doom stacking from Obi here. So far, only warriors for the Vikings, but also, as you can see here, the first beautiful longship. And I like Japan investing into Kuros, but it's also going to need a couple of archers, I believe, because Obi's not going to go easy on him. I really like the position that Team Obi is in right now. They have the galley out for the Iroquois, so they can also already make some cheeky plays happen there. They've got Obi in a great spot to hit 2 opponents that probably aren't going to be equipped to deal with his war chariot stacks. And if everything fails, they also have Vikings with a bunch of coastal cities. That's going to be able to launch Viking raids onto everybody on the opposing team, pretty much. Everybody is very boatable there. Whereas for Archriver's team, the only thing that's really going great is that Archriver himself has, well, he has pretty good land. A couple of cities out, and he's got 3 iron here. So he's going to be able to get some nice upgrades, especially with the Indian money. Presumably, it's going to be some nice upgrades, whereas Rever's likely just going to be playing the turtling part, as these 2 guys are trying to catapult and slingshot themselves ahead. Again, kind of like last game, although in a very different manner, I would assume. Obi gonna be scary, absolutely. 2 game forest. Oh yeah, these are some incredibly powerful tiles too. Yeah, that I didn't like that GA. I agree. Yeah, I agree. He's definitely gonna get at least 2 war chariots per turn, possibly even 3 per turn here. He's on 5 already now. So yeah, he's getting 2 per turn. And at least Ava's also getting some chariots out now. What is this? Is it... Did he just put a chariot into that galley? I wonder what he's gonna do with that, where he's gonna go with this one. Oh, that's curious. But please let me know if you know why he's loading chariots into galleys, but whatever. Them boat ready to go. Is that what he just does? Is that just how he boats people? At least Archer was taking precautions and getting naval sentries out, both with the warrior here and the Kura in the ocean, so he's not gonna get surprised that badly though. We had no upgrade yet. Maybe they're saving all the gold for the Viking upgrades, but you don't even need that much gold for Viking upgrades. You don't even need that many berserks. And here goes the galley. At least Archie was able to spot it out. That was a good job making sure he's being safe at home. But I wonder why nobody's... Right, we have Japan with those... Okay, no, he's gonna be the one watching out for the boating rod. I love that. And that Kura wall that he's got. That's not too bad here. He's doing a good job of closing off all the boating angles. And the Vikings haven't seen any of these Kuras yet, I don't think. Let's check in with Mac here, actually. He's got still only that one longship and no Berserk upgrade yet. He's still roading that with his one worker, it seems. It's in the lake. It is. There he is, sitting silently waiting for a chariot landing. And Rever moves out with his Kura, apparently trying to maybe catch out the galley even, or at least hinder its movement. Looks like GA was taken over here. I'm not sure though why the archer is 1 HP, but whatever the reason is, he most likely got GA over here, Rever did. And oh, what am I saying? Of course, the Obi... I thought Obi was his teammate for a second there, but no, of course the Obi warrior was there for pressure. I'm getting tired as well, aren't I? Yep, I agree. Obi is in a great position to take over this game. He's stacking chariots galore here. And I don't think either Japan or India are equipped to deal with him. Look at this, 8 war chariots now. We're gonna keep track of this by the turn. And I wonder when the upgrade's gonna come in for Archer. At least we have a second longship for the Vikings now. They're gonna get their landing force out soon. That's gonna be another point of pressure here. We have the chariot landing onto Madras, and that's definitely not where you love to land. Apparently he's getting... Oh, he's got an archer underneath. Wow. He cancels the iron hook from SDN. That's big, definitely. Gets a worker there too. Wow, and the archer even survives that. He's just getting completely outmaneuvered here. Ava with the movement and archer but can't catch a break here. Even the promotion for the archer, not archer, but Ava, sorry. And Lord finally gets taken out here with the warrior. But that was a worthwhile galley, as I see things. I wonder if he put the captured workers back into the galley or if he disbanded them. We'll check that. Oh, I don't have the spy there. Oh, looks like they've captured one worker. So I think the captured worker is in the galley, but he disrupted that take of the iron. Although I don't think that it would have been that significant. Anyways, it's still always unfortunate to lose that one like that. And also looks like there's fighting over vision going on in the eastern front between the Vikings and the Japanese. And Obi is scouting Celts declaring war here. Where is that going on? Maybe it was against the galley, actually. That's what I think most likely happened there. Trying to get a hit out onto that galley. Now, that single chariot looks a little bit weird, but maybe it's going to be able to catch Vikings off guard. That would be hilarious. Although, no, Vikings are on his team. What am I talking about? He's going to just wrap around and look for SDN. Maybe another worker there. The unloaded Madras was unfortunate. He didn't know that the city was there, of course. but he didn't really get to make use of that two-move ability of the chariot. A couple of samurai now being stacked, accompanied by archers, which is an important thing to do if you want to push early with those cheap samurais. You definitely gotta bolster them with a little bit of defensive bombard, otherwise the opponent is just gonna trade favorably into them with warriors of his own, and that's definitely not the trade that you want to take. I love the naval sentry out of Rever, and same thing I guess for Archreaver. As we see, Obi. No, that one. He just got hit by a barb there. I thought he was hitting something, but no. Ava. Let's keep track of everybody's army. Ava now with the mounted warrior upgrade. 13 war chariots for Obi. He's getting there steadily. Even a fourth city out now to increase that stacking speed. And Archreaver. Dude, can I please just... I just want to know how many mounted he's got at which one, but sure, I guess I don't get to see anything. Okay. Finally, some upgrades for Archreaver, it seems. He's asking for gold from the team. I wonder how much SDN was able to give him. Remember to make best use of the Indian gold gathering ability. You need to get a couple of cities. You need to build a bank in every one of those cities, which is very cheap. But then you also need to turn off the tech, because the gold multiplier only works on the gold that you're not using for a luxury or tech slider. So if SDN's been taking a lot, there's a chance he doesn't really have that much gold yet. Although I would be surprised if that was the case, because yeah, that's 6 Galax already. Pretty decent force to be reckoned with for Archreaver. And let's see if he can make something work with that. Rever also going on the offensive here against the Vikings. He feels comfortable with the amount of Kuras that he's got out apparently, as Estienne is looking for a GA maybe. He's upgraded a bunch. Let's see how much he's got there. 7 war elephants, okay, so that's 7 times 15, that's 105 gold. In addition to the 7 Galax there of Archreaver, 6 of which were upgraded. I think, are those 45 gold each, or like 40 gold each or something? Because that would then be 240 gold for these 6 upgrades. So yeah, they must have spent a lot of gold there. People wondering maybe about the golden age. Japan's golden age is maybe the one being discussed. I'm not sure. Max now getting pressured a little bit by Rever here. And there we go. We also see some berserks for the Vikings at the ready. 3 berserks for those 3 longships. It's definitely gonna get a couple more. But Obi's apparently preparing to go for SDN of all people first. I thought he would have gone for Japan, but no, he takes the little bit longer distance up north to SDN, who's now gonna have to deal with a decent sized stack of war chariots. GA apparently not able to be taken there for Ava. Wow, that sucks. He's gonna be furious about that. And Archie now gonna take that warrior away to safety and try to avoid giving GA to the Iroquois. He loses the sentry here, which is a big one, but it's difficult. Looks like ASDN just entered his GA, as he apparently found a unit of McClunkies there. But Obi is at the ready for his assault, and that's a lot of war chariots. SDN gonna get schooled here by the by the Egyptians that he sadly wasn't able to find a kill with last game. Very different circumstances, of course, but he's gonna get hit with force there. I wonder how effectively he's going to be able to defend. Look at that Kuras spam though. That just the Vikings only being in this game makes it so the opponents have to spam out Kuras. Or at least they feel like they have to. 6 out for the Japanese, 6 more for the Celts. That's so many Kuras. And wow, that's just incredibly surprising. Here come the longships though. I wonder where he's going to move with them. If he's going to look for combat or if he's going to get hit by the Japanese. And Obi indeed went for the double move apparently. I wonder what he's going to look for here. SDN at least blocking these roads. Decent job there, but he's just going straight for the hit onto Madras. Is he going to be able to take him out there? This is a big stack for the Indians to deal with. And I'd be surprised if SDN was able to fend them off. He only has the wall defense, and despite how beefy it looks, it only has 1 defense. He's putting everything he's got in there, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. those war chariots have taken a pretty bad beating though, so they probably gonna get defended for this turn. Although there's still combat going on, he's still rolling there, and SDN has survived for this turn. He's done a great job there, but I don't think he's gonna be able to repeat that feat for next turn. This is definitely looking painful here. He's moving all the units, every last one that he has, to the support of Madras and Delhi. And those are low HP war chariots. I just don't think he's got quite enough there. It's going to be a close affair, but it's not looking all too rosy right now. And maybe Archiva can get off a nice retake here, but I don't know. Rever just made 90 Kuras here. It looks like 2 of these 3 longboats were taken out. That's a painful, costly loss for Scandinavia. Yep, he's lost 2 ships there, and presumably 4 berserks alongside them. As the turn ends, how's Obi gonna go about this? He just sends them all at him once more with force, assaults Madras for the 2nd time, and SDN with the spearman. That is a huge unit to include, but he's getting terrible rolls here. He's losing HP on that spearman incredibly quickly, and we can see Archriver already moving units on over for the retake. How much does SDN have left in the tank? I wonder how many moves Obi's got left. He's done a great job of surviving here, honestly. This is some incredible survival artistry, and it buys time, enough time, if nothing else, for Archriver to move some Galax on over there. Now, it's not a lot of them, so who knows if those are actually going to suffice in a retake scenario, but he's also moving his smaller stack forward onto Ava, who probably still isn't in J. I haven't seen him enter that, but I assume Obi must have given it to him by now. And look at this, the Kuros, the Japanese fleet of Kuros. And it was talking about how galleys are more expensive than longboats and definitely not good to contest naval priority with Vikings with. But if you just never get map making, you can just spam out Kuros forever and then trade very cost effectively into the longboats, presuming you're able to get into range here. How's Obi gonna go about this? He's looking to loop around onto Delhi. Can SDN react in time here? He's getting the spearmen out of his capital, and there goes Obi moving in. Good idea there to try and see if he can get the Indian capital, but also nice move from SDN to make sure he's got a strong defensive unit in there. Madras getting hit again. Out moves the spearmen, and good job by Obi cutting the road. Is that gonna be enough to take Madras? How are the rolls between the war chariots and the spearmen? And they are not great enough for him. He incredibly wasn't able to take out India with the war chariot stack that he made, and that is incredible defensive work here by SDN. He kept his cool and he held on to Madras as a result of that. Also able to keep control over the more important roads. He's got a 3-tile distance here to his cap and was able to hold on to both roads as well as his cap. Now, if Obi had high roll for an empty cap there last turn, he probably could have taken him out, but that's always easier said than done. And SDN, the worst is behind him, although the next war chariots are already approaching, and they aren't quite spotted out just yet by Archiver. So who knows if SDN is actually expecting another hit so soon. Interesting though. He's managed to survive, and I can't believe it, quite frankly. In move the Galax from Archriver, and he's found a walled city of Grand River, and he's sitting straight into it. Spearmen galore here from Ava. He's got enough to defend that, you would think, but the rolls are of course what's gonna decide this one. A big costly attack here for Archery. That does it pay off in the end? Debatable. His units are pretty low HP. He's lost a couple of them, as horsemen included. He's now moving that Gallic back, but that's definitely not where you like to go ideally here. He's lost a lot of golden shields on this attack. He tried for Grand River, but Ava saw it coming, and with the amount of spearmen are just quite frankly not cost efficient for Odd River to trade into. That walled city with fortified spearmen and not gonna take shield efficient trades there. So despite Obi's big Doomstack failing, Archiver also lost a huge investment there, and Ava is now in a good position to take this one over, at least for Team Archiver, Rever, and SDN. The enemy Vikings have been contained, expertly here. We really got to see a masterclass on how to defend the Vikings early on at least. No longboards were able to sneak through here. 90 Kuras is what he's saying. He's not able to get a naval play off there. That is pretty impressive here. And Mac feels the pressure definitely. He could have tried for a play around the backside onto SDN though. I would have liked that. He could have tried to adapt maybe in that direction. Now he's getting circled in a little bit and he's having a hard time finding an angle to get something off. I still like the position here for Ava, Obi, and Mac, but it's not being gifted to them as easily. And these were some, as anticipated, these were some couple of high-level games here that we've seen in already, and we're only 1.5 games in here, as both these teams are putting up a huge fight against one another. And especially, I have to compliment SDN for his defense just here, and also for Archiva's incredible effort last game with the double kill. But in this one, I believe it's going to be all Ava, potentially cleaning up the board here, as he's now also went for a couple of swordsmen apparently, with the iron colony over there. Wonder how that's going to go. Horsemen for the Egyptians now. That's well, you don't see that all that often. And what I want to see from the northern duo here is they got to get some vision. I like what Archie is doing. He's got complete control, for the time being at least, over the western part. But you got to establish some vision here around the middle, because Obi's just going to wreak havoc onto anybody. And it looks like he's doing exactly what he did last game, in that he's trying to get a road up on over there to the Japanese and maybe pressure them, which should be easier, as I would expect. That's an interesting city here. Is Edo just walled already? Is he scared maybe from a Viking landing from over there? Potentially, because that is a viable route for the Vikings. If they ever manage to sneak through there, they could just go around their teammates' land and strike Japan from the west. Although that's definitely a long journey to go on, and not one that Mac has been able to initiate. Yeah, still, I was most worried about what Obi was going to be able to do here early on. But even though that hasn't succeeded really, I gotta say, what is this? Oh, that's a Celt. That's a Celt. Fair enough. I thought that was Indian for a second. That confused the hell out of me. All right. And even though Obi was defended here, I still think the overall position that these guys are in should favor Team Obi. My only concern is really that the Vikings are kind of sitting ducks right now. I don't think they've got a lot of archers for defense, not a ton at least here. And they also got denied all their naval plays. So I don't really know what a max out really is right now. Maybe he needs to get the GA still. That could propel him into more relevancy. But I have to compliment Rever in a sense. He's pressuring the Vikings at least a little bit here, and he's taken complete naval control, neutralizing them. So on paper, they've played that matchup really well. The concern is just that he's the captain of his team, and the Vikings are the lowest elo member of the enemy team. So despite him playing a strategically good game there, in terms of matchups, that's of course unfortunate that your best player is just stuck in the 1v2 corner and just stalling right now. I like Archiva though. He's not given up. He's built up a impressive stack of Galax after that first one failed, and he's still trying for Ava down here, who is in a really good defensive position. I like the strategic cities that he's got. He's got all of these cities you can see right there behind the river wall. Look at this again. It's all behind the river. You get the defensive bonus from the river in all these cities. That's a very nice strategic city planting, and I think you might get another one here up in the northern corner of the river too, which I would also appreciate. That's again continuing the trend of getting a very easy to defend empire for yourself, stacking up until you have maybe tanked up enough enemy units that you can build up a critical mass yourself to overwhelm them with. Now, Obi hasn't been active on the offensive end for a while. Let's check out what his army is looking like. He's got a very potent stack that he might be able to take someone out with, and it looks like he's just now starting to move it out. Yep, he's emptying everything and moving on forward again towards SDN, which does surprise me. Again, I would have expected a Viking Egyptian joint play somewhere, most likely onto Japan or onto the Japanese, but no, he's going up north again. And curiously, I think Ava, Obi, and Emak are actually up in score, despite the Celts being the biggest scorers so far, with both Rever and SDN lagging behind around 100 score. So they are behind in score as well as in a tough predicament here, as Obi is preparing for his stack attack within 2 or 3 turns, I assume. And we wonder if SDN is going to be able to is gonna be equipped to deal with that. Hold that thought though, as Archriver once more swoops in to Iroquois land. Is Ava gonna be quick enough with the reinforcements? I don't see them coming through right now. He's now started, he's moving those spearmen in. Katarogos is difficult to reinforce. He's taken a long time to get those 2 defenders in, and that's a big Gallic stack, although never mind, it's been cut down by a lot already. And it looks like Ava has defended it successfully and is now going for the counter hit. Archie at least able to move out there, say getting a little bit of that cost back, but that was one further costly attack that he just launched there onto the Iroquois. At least he was able to go around the river penalty, but then attacking the hillside city with the spearmen and being able to be reinforced from all the sides, that's just so difficult to get a kill on. And he's struggled mightily here against Ava, who just in his patented turtle sit and wait play style has been able to soak up a ton of pressure here. Same thing for SDN though. Let's see if he's as lucky for the second time here, as once more Obi brings the chariots on over. SDN actually with a opportunity to maybe steal away that worker. Wouldn't be surprised if you maybe got that, but doesn't matter, as for now he's gonna have to defend that huge war chariot stack. Obi once more going for the direct hit onto Madras. What does SDN have left? Is he gonna be able to lift that? I don't think so, quite frankly. This time around it's looking tough. He's getting the spearmen in there, the better defenders, but that's just so many 2-attack units, and it doesn't look like SDN is getting amazing rolls here, despite that city being no, it's not a hill city even, so that is probably also what makes these rolls so tough. A lot of war chariots have gone down, but still SDN is holding on, and Obi is continuing to hit right there. It looks like he's killing a lot of units off right now. 2 HP units on top showing for SDN right now, but again, he's survived the initial hit by the Egyptians, it looks like. He's even getting that worker trade right now. He's simply not backing down without a fight. And Ava is now pressuring Archie. He's trying to turn it around on the western part of this map too. He's angered. He's completely livid about the fact that he's nuked out so early last game. Wasn't quite aware of how that scenario worked, and then had to take shit for so long in this game with the Celts pressuring him. He's gonna let all that frustration out onto the Celts soon enough, I imagine. For now, though, it's Obi's turn in unleashing hell onto his opponent. Is he this time around gonna look for the wraparound onto Delhi earlier? It looks like he's attacking that road, and SDN is probably not gonna be able to reinforce it, it seems, as there go the war chariots. This is not what you want to see if you're SDN there. What is he going to be able to do? He's trying to hit into the war chariot stack, but it's simply too massive. I don't think he's going to be able to fend that off. There's options here for Obi now, definitely. At least SDN gets the chance to hit with a couple of 2 attackers there, as it seems. But I just feel like that number of Egyptian war chariots is just at a critical level here. Archiver again trying to position some units over there for the retake if necessary. SDN still gets a few kills there, but maybe I think there should be one move left on these war chariots as Celts declare war on Vikings. Oh, I didn't see that one sneaked on over there. That's the 4-move power of Viking longboats. He's gotten one through there. Maybe he's actually going to be able to pressure someone with it, although Rever has more than done his homework and also secured his naval borders. Stian is beating back these war chariots. Are we seeing this? Not sure what he's saying, but whatever. He's almost cleared all of them out, and he's taking more rolls. He's trying to get what he can, and Obi finally relents. He still could have tried to move through onto Bombay, but that is crazy. Oh, I didn't see Ava's RNG, sorry, because there was a more impressive theater of war going on at the same time. Excuse me for not paying the utmost attention on the west here. He's defended very valiantly, but apparently his offensive rolls haven't gone in his favor just yet. There is apparently a longship that actually made its way through, but I doubt that the Celts are going to be a prime target for that. Maybe he's actually going to go all the way around to the Japanese. That could be a big surprise factor as well. And Estian inexplicably has just barely hung on for the second time in a row for the second doomstack that Obi brought to him. And I've talked a lot about the fact that this game, the enemy, the Rever, the captain of his team, has been having a hard time against the enemy Vikings. Or I should say, he's done a great job against the Vikings, but he's just been his attention has just been confined to purely matching the Vikings over here. But same thing for Obi. All he's done all game is build up stacks and launch them at SDN, and that's the lowest elo member of their opponents. And SDN has twice now lived in a defensive masterclass here, completely able to beat those war chariot stacks back and shred them to pieces. So again, Ava is the one who really holds the agency here on his team. I wonder what he's got. Sadly, for the entire game, I haven't been able to land a spy on him, but I'll try to do that next turn. Still a war chariot left there in India, but okay, apparently we're going for the re-hit here, as in go the next couple of chariots. How is this gonna go? He gets a couple more of them in there, but I thought he might have gone for the road take and hit onto Madras, but no, he's now moving out for good, it seems, and trying to heal these couple back up. I just got confused with the type of moving that he was undertaking there. Archiver, despite apparently taking out a ton of Ava's units, no great leaders yet, unlike last game, where he got one in the end there. That would have been funny if we'd seen that one in action, but so far no great leaders, and his Galax are also taking their time to heal back up over there. Ava continuing up his road. I'm trying to get that spy on to him finally. Please. Oh, God bless. That's the latest spy I've had in these tournament games, dude. What does he have? A shit ton of archers is the answer. And that can be enough to get a kill, but it is less than I actually thought he had, especially in the war, in the mounted warrior department. Oh boy, it looks like Obi's just not giving up here. He's just not taking his foot off the gas pedal under any circumstances. And Mac is trying to get that Viking longship through. Is he going to be able to get around those Kuros? SDN still securing, fortifying his roads, and whenever Obi moves in with those war chariots, the war elephant is the answer and comes in with force, defending those tiles. And oh lord, it looks like Mac just isn't getting his rolls in his favor there. On the Eastern Front earlier, I think the pure number of Kuros just overwhelmed him, but this roll right here just wasn't meant to be, it seems. I like the border expand out of Elysia that takes away a lot of the boating tiles. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be nearly impossible for the Vikings to get boats through to anyone without being seen at this point. He's completely surrounded. I have to compliment the anti-naval effort from the opponents. Now the issue is that they're still in a bad spot overall because they're behind in score. Celts, Indians, and Japanese are. And they don't have a massive stack anymore. Well, maybe the Japanese do. I'm not sure what he's got going. What is going on for Rever in the meantime? He's got decent. He's got maybe what he's got is comparable to Ava actually in terms of military units at this point, at least in terms of offensive military units. So maybe he can make something work there. The issue is that SDN has been completely kept down by Obi in the meantime, so they're not going to be able to effectively 2v1 here. And the score situation isn't going to get any better for them. All three opponents are bigger in land area than all three of them, it seems. Although maybe that's just an optic or yeah, an optic illusion, whatever, visual illusion. It's getting late. I'm getting tired, dude. Anyhow, looks like the Vikings just got their GA20 turns before the game ends. Finally, I wonder where they got it. Looks like, oh, they took out SDN's Sentry Warrior over here and even got the promotion out of it. SDN's been trying to get this city off for a while now, but he's not feeling confident to plant it. I like his choice not to plant any coast cities. He has voiced his concerns that the Viking Berserk is overpowered. He thinks that a 5 attack is just ludicrous because amphibious assault in itself is already so uh, so incredibly potent. But he plays accordingly and he avoids planting coastal cities. Now he is behind in score partly as a result of that, but honestly, I gotta respect him for at least playing respectfully there and not falling easy victim to the Vikings, unlike some other people in this lobby, including me, to be honest. So the stakes are, well, the stage is pretty much set here. We've got the team Obi ahead in score with a pretty comfortable position and everybody with at least enough military that I think they're not really in danger of getting taken out. And then we have the opponents with Arch, Rever, and Estian, who desperately need a kill but don't really have the tools to do so, I don't think. It sounds like a pretty boring game from now on paper, but the issue is there's tools for them to maybe surprise their opponents here. They have full naval control, also in the middle lake, so they have boating opportunities. If they just get 6 galleys of Galax and war elephants maybe, onto Egypt, while Rever swoops in from the south, Obi could fall to attack like that because his empire is spanning a large land area, and I'd be concerned for him in a scenario like that. Ava's probably not gonna die at this point, but he's also not got a massive army to the point where he can just roll through anybody, through everybody. And the Vikings, on the other hand, have blown most of the load rather early and have taken pretty bad shield trades there. So Rever is the one with the more potent military on that front. So it's not all doom and gloom right here. Looks like Max going for a horseman upgrade though. I didn't see that one coming. What's he got there? Well, at least he's got a few. At least he's got a few. Maybe trying to wrap around outside of vision of SDN or Rever and sneak through there. Maybe a two-person attack alongside Obi finally, which is something I've anticipated for a long time. Sadly, Macro never really was in a position to get himself into a position to attack. Now, the biggest criticism I could have is that he tunneled very hard on that longboat berserk play. I think he either should have sent some boats around north, or he should have been a little bit more flexible and gone for something else initially after seeing that these cross are blocking his way. Ooh. I wonder what SDN is needing 5 turns for. Presumably map making. Maybe they just don't even have map making on their team. And they want to do some boats finally. I wonder when Rever's gonna start walking in here, because he's very clearly looking at Obi and trying to kill him there. He's also got 2 galleys though, so he's got the chance to make something work against the Vikings. And everybody's just building up for now before we get the large final clash. Gotta respect Rever at least though. Oop. Oh, guys, I haven't caught up with chat. Sorry, Raptag. I was very much busy uh with talking about this game and following along what they were doing. But yeah, I'm sorry. What does Lem have at this point? Oh, he's just keeping on stacking archers. That's all he's really going for here, it seems. And I like doing that myself. I kind of see myself in his playstyle a little bit. I also like to just make a couple of cities, spam archers, eat up early and opponent aggression, and then strike back with my massive archer army. That's something I like to do myself as a go-to play in a lot of MPT games. So I didn't even know that we were that similar in that regard, but maybe that's just something he's doing as a one-off here. An 8 population city without any units in. What's the over-under on this one on disordering next turn? Let me know, guys. It seems though Rever is looking for a play himself. Maybe he's scared of getting moved on by. No, he's not. So he's definitely looking for a move himself. Maybe with these Galax. He's trying to see what he can find on the offensive. He's moving in and he's got the Galax from both sides. He's gonna hit Grand River and Cattaraugus at the same time. Presumably here. In goes the Gallic stack onto Cattaraugus across the river onto a hill. I don't think this is going to be a favorable trade for him, but he's got a lot of... Is that a kill? I mean, that could be a kill, but it could just, like, right? That's a super bad timing. Bruh. I don't think it's a kill, because he's got so many archers, I'd be really surprised if that was a kill. But it just paused at a very... it may be just a very bad timing for the out of sync. That's super unfortunate, bruh. I mean, the archer just died, right? You could see when the out of sync popped up, the archer was at 0 HP. So if he only had 2 units in that city, maybe he just died there. But there, I don't know. I can't imagine a guy with 30 archers only has 1 in that city. So probably wasn't a kill. At least we get a resync, but oh, can we even load the resync, or is that gonna screw with the combat? Uh, is that gonna screw with the combat, maybe with the defensive bombard or with the rolls that already took place? Oh boy, that is some unfortunate timing, truly. Waiting for one more guy in the reload. People have been quite quick to reassemble today. Yoga is dang. Hello there. We're playing MPT. I'm not sure you know what MPT is already, but if you know what MPT is, then we are playing a modded version of MPT. If you don't know what MPT is, it is a slight modification of the base game. So we're playing multiplayer with 1 city elimination, meaning you die if you lose 1 city. And that's the most important change, I guess. And oh yeah, I slightly modified 3 civilizations for this one. So that is the major modification. Oh yeah, MPT also has a different map generation, but this of course is the Oh no. MPT is not the one that starts in a later age. MPT starts at the very beginning. It's an ancient scenario. Are you from the Discord? Yoga Stack? Did you join from the Discord or from the Steam group? Because I don't recognize the name, but maybe, yeah. Oh, how did you find the stream then, Yoga? How did you find, where did you find that, the stream on? That's what I'm curious about. Cool to have new guys here always, of course. Oh wow, that's cool. That's actually cool. You actually found me through Twitch. I didn't think that. That's so cool though. By the way, oh, I think Rapback already linked the Discord. Yeah, I very much recommend you joining that Discord. You can just join and don't do anything, right? You can just absorb. You don't need to. If joining that Discord uh doesn't I'm running short of English words right now. It's getting late here. Don't judge me. But no. So basically, what I'm saying is, you can just join that Discord and slowly get a sense of how that multiplayer community works. It's a really fun community. We don't have a lot of players, but we're very active. So you can just watch some multiplayer games on that Discord, chat with people talking about multiplayer and single player. There's some single player experts in there too. So if you just like talking about the game, get some ideas from people maybe, and find some more content about the game, then I definitely encourage you to join that Discord. Okay. Um, Here we go. I've held up the lobby talking it to chat. I'm a bad host. Oh, bro, yeah. It's getting really taxing for me to talk at this hour. But all right. Wow, this is like this is omega bugged. I wonder if it's this bugged for the players too. So basically, we just reloaded the game because there was a crash. The game crashed during a big attack, and yeah, the bug that happened was not resolved by the reload. We're just trying to figure out how we're gonna resolve that bug. But already, it looks like it's resolved. It looks like it's resolved. The attack has resumed. So it's now what we're looking at is the Celtic player gonna be able to take out the Iroquois over here? Rever versus Avalanche. They're trying. He's been trying so hard all game. He's been trying so hard all game to get that kill onto the Iroquois. And yet again, it seems like Avalanche just has too many units here on the defensive end to defend this Galax stack. This is a critical mass of Galax Swordsmen in many games, but since Avalanche has been building for defense, excuse me, for this entire game, he's been able to fend off every single one of these attacks. And that's once more a huge investment of Archivers cut to pieces at the arrows of Iroquois archers here. My lord. A third time hits and a third time Avalanche defense here. So now the onus is on the Japanese down here. Is he going to be able to, Rever? Is he going to be able to carry the load of his team here? SDN has held on so well for this entire game. but he wasn't able to kill. And there goes the Mounted Warrior attack, actually. Avalanche at the very end of turn, piercing into the Celtic land and trying to get something off onto Alesia, apparently. It looks like I missed the kill over here. The Viking boat, or the Vikings getting boated. A huge move from Rever as I was focused on Avalanche's Mounted Warriors in the meantime. But as we saw earlier, those two galleys, so effective once you have the naval priority. He did a great job of seizing that against the Vikings, and he's actually the one taking out the Vikings by boat. Now that's something people wouldn't necessarily have expected, but the four swordsman boat successfully routing Reykjavik and taking that city. So now, to everybody's surprise, it's actually Team Rever who are in the lead in terms of kills, at least. It's 15 turns left in the game. So if nobody dies, maybe Rever's team can squeak out the victory here. SDN and Rever apparently also coordinating for that hit onto Egypt. That's what I was talking about earlier. I would love to see a galley play from the northern two players to land Egypt and assist in Japan's attack that's going to come through from the east right here. He's got a bunch of units at the ready, I imagine. He's also got a ton of archers. It doesn't necessarily look like it right now, but we've seen earlier. These Japanese are stacked at home. And they can definitely pose a threat to the Egyptians, despite this formidable defense built up on the hill city of Alexandria with those walls. That's a huge defensive bulwark to overcome here. But maybe they've just got enough units to do it. And SDN also, he's sending everything that he's got. He's going on the counter-offensive here. I wonder if he's maybe stretching a little bit too far here. But he's going in right now. I wonder if Rever was actually expecting SDN to go immediately. But SDN has started. And Rever has to follow this attack up now. He's got to move on to Alexandria now, end of turn. He's maybe not sure that this is already on the way, but now he's starting to move those units in. Is he getting that move off? It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like he's moving in time. And there we go. The turn ends without Rever able to to support Archie or SDN's assault rather. This gives Obi one turn's time to stack up and further redistribute his defenses, although it looks like... Oh? Not sure what he's referring to, but whatever it is, he's gonna have to move in a turn late here. Now the positive on this side is it looks like Obi is just moving units north, 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 north. He's slamming everything up north. And what I think he's doing is he's seeing that SDN is going for the attack, and he's maybe trying to sneak a couple of two-movers into the Indian backline here. That's what I'm thinking he might be doing. Or maybe onto Calcutta as well. Luckily, SDN has some sentries there, some very much needed vision of his own, so he's going to be able to spot the war chariot movement. But apparently Obi's now smelling blood in the water and trying to go for the kill onto India. But that should open himself up to a kind of big threat. I might just go and investigate Alexandria here, just out of curiosity, to see what he's got in there. It's not a lot. Look at this. Look at this. Especially low defensive bombard here. So this is definitely... And he's keeping on moving out units. He's really focusing hard on that northern side. Maybe he's thinking that the Japanese invested a lot on the kill for the Vikings, but that was not the case. It was a simple boating. And I think he's not giving enough credit to Rever and respecting that attack enough. This is looking very good all of a sudden for Rever's team. And he might just equalize the series here. After losing that first show match earlier, he's now moving in with his entire might, and that is a huge, enormous stack. I can't see a world in which Alexandria withstands this assault. Obi's trying his best, but it just doesn't look likely at this point. Alexandria is getting taken low, and despite great rolls for Obi there, remember, a walled city is never easy to take out. The sheer number of units attacking here should make this very difficult to defend. The chariot landing in the backside is also doing huge work, and he gets the kill with the single chariot onto Thebes. He takes out the Egyptian capital with the avalanche-esque chariot coming from behind. And this might sound crazy, but maybe this is actually a net negative for his team. Because had he gotten the kill at Alexandria, that would have meant that there's only that the city would have been razed. It was a size 1 city, so that would have gotten destroyed. Now he got the kill at Thebes instead. That means he took the city, making it at least possible for Avalanche to retake that city, since he's got a direct road connection there. I don't think this is as over as it looks. It is 3 versus 1, but maybe Avalanche can kill Hardrada and Rever if he's getting lucky here. We'll have to reload the game because on this kill it actually ended up lagging out. But wow, that was Lamb has a chance to win. I agree with you. It was a mistake. But you got to remember, he doesn't see whatever Obi is doing. I guarantee you that in Rever's mind, SDN attacked too early, and he attacked with a very small force. So what Rever is thinking is, oh, Obi knows what's coming now. SDN is attacking Obi with pretty much nothing. So Obi's gotta think that they're getting desperate and that the attacks are coming now. So what Obi probably thinks, or what Rever probably thinks, is that Obi's gonna fortify his cities extra much now, and he's gonna especially focus on the eastern front since he knows that SDN can't have a lot. So after that thought process, I assume what Rever is thinking is that Obi's heavily fortifying Alexandria, and he has zero vision of Obi's land. He doesn't know that Obi's been moving out units for 2 turns out of Alexandria. He probably thinks it's been fortified for those last 2 turns, but that was not the case. And instead he gets a relatively easy kill that he didn't know was that easy. I'm asking Ava if he wants the reload, because he definitely has a chance here. He says he doesn't kill. Okay, so he calls it here. Congrats to Rever then. He's played a great game, getting 2 kills here and winning it for his team. Sadly, after dying early in the first game, he wasn't able to contribute a lot there, but in this one he's done a great job with the surprise landing onto the Vikings, and then also with the sneaky chariot onto Thebes. He wins the game. Lamb's spirit is broken, but that was a great game here. Honestly, Obi is just now saying in the Steam group what I've been talking about all game. He should have just gone to Japan at some point. That looked so obvious to me, to go for Japan, but I guess McLonky wasn't really able to orchestrate an attack with his teammate there. All right. What a game. What a day of games, mate. Oh, Lord. I'm glad we got to do this. This was hype. Some 3v3 testing. 2 great games here. Thank you guys for joining. I'm always glad when I get active viewership like this. Always great chatting with you all. And I hope, especially you guys, I hope to see you in the Discord server soon. And for Rab and Rab, thanks for joining as always. And maybe I'll see some of you guys in the tournament as well, although I know you're not the most premier MPT players. Alright. Oh god. Thanks for watching, everybody. And I'll see you sometime later this week. Thank you, Yoga Stein. I appreciate the words. Again, hope to see you later in the Discord server maybe. Although I'll go to bed now, so maybe I'll see you there tomorrow. And I can only recommend you check out the community. It's a very fun place to be around. And I'm actually just incredibly surprised I'm surprised that you ended up finding the streams through Twitch. So that's actually cool, and I'm glad that people are still out there enjoying CIV3 and searching for new content around it. All right, I gotta get to bed now though. Thanks for joining me, guys.